day, everyone. Welcome to Derby Day. Just in the old motor with Messrs Siddle and Brooks. How are we feeling, boys?
Yeah, feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice little cruise up in the motor. Together, get a bit of lunch before this evening. DJ Ferries.
Don't let those guys get you. They'll have you on your knees believing.
Get ready for the side of Derby, aren't we, boy?
Get revved up for it. Spot a lunch in Bristol today?
Bristol is ours. Buzzing, mate. About 3 coffees.
3 coffees.
Still don't play for another 3 hours, so we're flying. You gonna get us through security, sailor, or what?
Big time. So just arrived in Bristol. Good vibes in the changing rooms, of course, but this is a bit normal. And apparently it's Barry that's bought it. Ferret's had a bit of caffeine. Right, we're at the ground. The weather's holding off. And Mr. Siddle's just been told he's making his debut, T20 debut for Somerset.
Let's go Somerset.
And he's excited. Derby Day, he's up for it.
Looking forward to it. Feeling good. Some coffees this afternoon. Me and Sailor are buzzing.
Yeah, exactly, getting the espressos in.
Just from the South Team News before I enter 8, 3 missing out tonight, George, Brooksy and Shanky. So Sid is making his T20 debut for us. Good luck, mate.
There's not a lot really, just to reinforce how well we're playing at the moment. Like nothing needs to change in terms of our intent and how positive we're looking to be. See, the big thing we spoke about is adapting to whatever's in front of us out there in the middle. Right, let's make sure we run and ragged in everything we do tonight. Let's get after it. Good luck.
Let's go.
Come on, boys. Go, boys. Let's go.
This man means business today. He's out for war. It's a Derby Day, isn't it, Sarge? It's Derby Day.
Give me strength. More importantly, how are you doing?
Are you interviewing me now?
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm back fit.
That's good.
It's good to see you
You're
guys.
doing your bowling? I've seen you out bowling.
Yeah, back bowling, back in net. So yeah, I'm going to be playing in the second team next week to get some overs under the belt. Hopefully putting some pressure on a few of these big boys. Yeah, exactly. Not often people ask me questions on the camera, is it? Have a look at the wicket today. Looks like a pretty typical Gloucester wicket. Might be pretty slow. Changes of pace. There is a bit of a pumping wind coming this way, but that is quite a short boundary. Short straight that way as well. That's very short with the wind as well. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it plays, really. There's no one around, mate. This kid's just in a world of his own. You alright, Ferret? Here with the Somerset fans. Somerset, la la la, Somerset. Let's go! Just as we're filming that, rain has come down and the boys have gone off. I think it's meant to blow over, but they've had a fairly decent start, the Gloucester lads. I think they're 61 for 1 from 5. So yeah, tough start, but the bowling conditions have been pretty tricky. It's been drizzling pretty heavily for the last 5 overs, so I think the outfield and the ball have been fairly wet. But you know, we're in form. No total too big for us. Right, so the rain has cleared up and we've been told it's going to be a 10 over game. We've got 5 more overs to bowl, and then we're going to go out and whack them and chase them off. Boys just getting ready now. Alright, last ball of the innings. Green has just bowled an unbelievable over. Let's finish it. Get there. Run him out. Oh no. Good over, 2 good overs there. What are we chasing? 101 off 10.
Yeah, but they'll add on.
Oh yeah, that's good fluid.
Payne in, that's clipped in the air and caught. In the air, it's out. The so's gone. Stuff and that could be caught. It is. Swing here, lips under it, and it's out. Ducks down again. Gregory could be towards Hammond, who takes the catch. Comes into Lemons. Taylor with the catch, and that's gone up under it, and that is gone. that's gone up in the air, and that's going to be 6 runs. Big shot. He's got hold of that one as well. That's gone into the mound stand. Almost, a great catch. He's got hold of that one as well. That's gone down the ground. That's gone for 4.
Too short, pulled away by Van der Merwe. That's going to be 6, I think. It is. Cut away, and it's beaten Chappell. It's going to go for 4 past him.
It's been a mental 9 overs. We lost a lot of wickets, but we're currently now, thanks to Ruloff, 12 from the last. Let's have a look what happened. Come on, Swervy. Yeah! Come on! Yes, boy! Come on, Swervy! Yeah, boy! Yes! Me. Where's coach? Yeah! Yeah! Come on! Let's go! Let's go! Yes! Oh. Come on! Yes! Let's go! Yeah! Come on, boy! What a knock! Yes, boy! Yes, boy! Yes, boy! Oh! How'd you do it, Ron? Sailor again. Come here.
Guys, a couple of things I think get to Ruler in a minute because that was unbelievable. But I think the second half with the ball for me was outstanding. We talked about actually if you execute, a great example there was when you hit the hole, it goes for 1 tops. They went slow balls, even if you miss it, it's 2. So it's great learning is when you're under the pump, you hit the hole. And then from a batting point of view, well, we try to throw that away, and we talk about partnerships. And when we lose wickets, it's actually taking some time to just wrestle momentum back. And that is time, it doesn't have to be runs. And then Ruler and JD, unbelievable. When the Bulldogs got one on.
This is our finisher. He's always there. Not out, missed not out they call it.
100%. 100.
Bah.
Yeah, please. You have it, bro.
And we are back in Taunton after last night's nothing short of epic heroics from Mr. Van der Merwe. Kent Spitfires tonight. We had a good game with them down in Canterbury at the beginning of the tournament, which got us going. Currently second in the table behind Surrey, but we played one less game. Got fresh wickets tonight. It's going to be an absolute belter, I reckon. Alright. Here he is, the epic man from last night. You enjoy yourself last night?
Yeah, it was a really fun night of cricket. Really enjoyed hitting a few sixes and thoroughly enjoyed the win.
How good was Singing Blackbird at the end there?
Oh, awesome, so loud.
It's one of the loudest I've seen.
Yeah, especially there, I'm sure.
Especially Derby Day.
Yeah.
They thought they had it in the bag. VDM comes out and just does the business.
My night. Hopefully we do it a bit more comfortable tonight.
Easy work.
With 10 wickets, Smeed 80, Banton 70, chasing 150.
Happy days. We're bowling first again.
We are bowling first.
That's all we do, isn't it? Bowl
the
first.
captain's already won the toss, so
Yeah.
we are bowling first.
He doesn't lose it, mate.
He's a goat, mate. He's a Dutch goat.
Pressure's on now.
Sluggy!
It's a penalty shootout. Slug says he's the leading goal scorer in the club. Okay, you can. No, that line there, that line there. Come on then, Neil. Now the camera's on, Slug. I've just seen you put one top bins.
Yeah, baby! Oh, let's go! That's why! That's why you get paid the big bucks!
Well guys, team news. So one change, Craig all comes in for Golders. So good luck to those 11. Look, on the back of last night, phenomenal win, Ruler outstanding. Alright, so the energy that we had at the closer play yesterday is unbelievable. I think it's really important we reset and we focus on what the job in hand is today. Alright, like we talked about yesterday, whenever we're under the pump, we got to doing the simple things brilliant. You know, great examples of it yesterday. So let's not forget that. It's also important to recognise we've got a fresh surface, so make no assumptions. Let's assess conditions, alright? And then we do have that clarity, back our execution. Alright, good luck. 8. Go to one, boys. Tratty, all yours.
Right, shock. Skipper Abel's won the toss again, and we're bowling first.
He's done really well, but he's top dead fit. Straight down top Lambert's throat. And he obliges, takes the catch. Happy as he does.
Pulled away, he's going to fall short of Rudolph van der Merwe at deep mid-wicket. Ahmed wants a second, Linda turns him down, so that's it. All done, 202 for 7.
Right at the halfway stage, chasing 203 I think. Looks like an absolutely belting wicket. Wind's pumping this way, so this boundary is tiny, so we saw a lot of sixes, so hopefully we'll see a few more. It's always tricky when you come in from innings like that, because even though it's below par, or maybe par, you can hit around a bit, so it just feels like momentum's with them, but when we go out and bat. Let's go the young guns then. Amongst the balls flying around a bit, we got the overseas senior pro. 4 overs, 1 for 20 on, 1 for 27. What's your assessment of the conditions out there?
Well, I pretty much went for that many off my 2 overs last night, so it was nice to have a little bit of improvement. But yeah, I guess executed a few good balls at the back end and read the conditions, but it seemed like a pretty good wicket after the power play. So they batted pretty well, but I think we didn't contain too bad.
Back in the boys to chase this?
Yeah, I am. I think, especially these boys, their power at the top, if they can get through the first few overs, it does do a little bit. I think there's plenty of runs to be had out there, and the pavilion here of the changing rooms could come under fire, hopefully, throughout the middle overs if these boys stay in, so fingers crossed.
Cheers, boy.
Really well together. Lambert's gone. There it is. After she's got it to be an end. Abel cloths that.
Goes it's County ground. As Somerset finish their innings off, and Craig Overton has top edged that one. Can Sam Billings complete the catch? He does.
Not to be tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Cooper Associates County Ground. Bathed in sunshine. It's boiling outside. We've got aircon in here. Yeah, you're listening to Sam Dalling and Sophie Luff on the Somerset live stream. Somerset versus Gloucestershire in the Vitality Blast. Pete Trigo will be up with us very shortly as well. The West Country Derby. You probably need no reminder of how it went, just a little bit over a week ago. Well, the teams do battle again. Good evening, Sophie. You all right?
Evening, Sam. Very well, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. As we were saying, bathed in sunshine, nearly 30 degrees. I tell you what, I was in London a bit earlier on. Yeah, it will be well over 30 degrees. I wouldn't like to be there this evening.
Yeah, it's a beautiful evening for cricket. I think we were talking last week that it was a great night for cricket. But yeah, it looks glorious out there. The ground is looking as good as ever. And yeah, obviously we'll hear more about the pitch report from Peter Trigo later. But from up here, it looks a pretty good one.
Yeah, he was looking dapper as ever. We were looking down on him, just wondering just how hot he was, suited and booted, as he always is, Peter Trigo. The West Country Derby, so if you enjoy playing at Taunton, you enjoy playing at Bristol. There's a bit of extra needle in this one, though, isn't there?
Yeah, there absolutely is. I know where my heart is, though, but yeah, have spent a fair amount of time over the winter and over the summer at Bristol. But yeah, nothing beats this ground here, Taunton on a Friday night. Apparently it's a sellout, so looking forward to hearing the atmosphere, and yeah, hopefully Somerset can get a win.
Yeah, this place is going to be absolutely rocking in about half an hour's time, and we are going to be with you throughout all the action. Thanks very much, as ever, to Trade Nation, our official live stream sponsors for the Vitality Blast competition. We've got How's That Trade Nation at half time. Make sure if you've entered earlier in the week, be next to your phones. You only get one chance. I give you a ring, you've got to answer, say How's That Trade Nation to win the prize. And isn't it a fantastic prize tonight? We've been celebrating the Southwest all this summer so far, and this one's probably the best of them all so far. I'd say a 3-night stay for 2 people at Carbis Bay Hotel over the winter. A lovely winter break there for you. So Somerset coming into this having lost their last home game against Kent. It was then that county championship interval where they played Surrey. We talked about Gloucestershire. Well, they'd have been demoralised having lost the West Country Derby to Somerset. But then on the Friday night, they travelled to Sussex, and what a comeback win it was for them, Sophie.
Yeah, it was. I was actually very surprised. I remember we were obviously commentating on the Somerset-Kent game here, and checked my phone, and it looked like Gloucester were going to lose to Sussex, and I got home and they ended up winning that one. So they've got a little bit of momentum. They sit 4th in the table, so a couple places behind Somerset, and Somerset will be desperate to turn the tides. They won't be happy with their performance from last week's defeat to Kent.
Well, let's go down to the toss. Let's see what Tom Abel and James Bracey are up to.
Abel has the coin. Heads is the call. It is a head. Gloucestershire have won the toss. Jack, if I could ask you to come across here. Jack Taylor, the Gloucestershire captain, on this glorious sunny evening here in Taunton. Jack, you've won the toss. What have you elected to do?
We're going to have a bowl.
Going to have a bowl, fair enough. In terms of team changes, you've got obviously Mohammed Amir in the squad. What have you decided to do?
Yeah, so Mohammed Amir comes in for Payne, who's away with England, and Matt Taylor comes in for Josh Shaw.
Great night for it, isn't it?
Absolutely. We love playing in these games against Somerset. It's always a packed house here. It's good fun. Hopefully we can do one over on them.
Thanks for your time, Jack. Go well. Tom Abel, if I could bring you over. Tom, uncharted territory this, isn't it? You've lost the toss and batting first. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, we're pretty happy with that. I mean, we've seen in the last few games, obviously, if you bat well first innings and obviously put a good score on the board, then it can be difficult to chase. So that's obviously what we'll be looking to do. If you want to obviously go far in the competition, you've got to bat first and you've got to bowl first. So it's no issue for us.
Just finally, a couple of changes tonight. Gloucestershire made. What about yourself?
Yeah, a couple of changes as well. We had a couple of concussions, so Craig and Josh Davey are out. Brooksy's coming in, and Golders as well. So
go well tonight. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, thank you.
Tom Abel there, the Somerset captain. It was Gloucestershire who won the toss. They've elected to bowl first here at the Cooper Associates County Ground. Blast-off is in just around 25 minutes' time. Have a look at the big screen. Here's what you can expect.
Well, there we go. Thanks, Rob. Something a little bit different then for Somerset for the first time this season. They're going to have to bat first. Tom Abel, remember, he lost the first toss against Kent away. They said, well, actually, we're going to have a bat. So Somerset bowled. Then Tom won 6 in a row. elected to bowl. So James Bracey, I mean, he didn't probably need to second guess what Somerset wanted to do first, but no surprise once the coin came down in Gloucestershire's favour, Sophie, that they elected to have a bowl.
Yeah, I think it's been the way to go here at Taunton, hasn't it? In terms of trying to chase down a total. But look, Kent put runs on the board last week, didn't they? And Somerset will be hoping that they can, you know, get 200. We talk a lot about it, but that's par here. So yeah, the batters have got responsibility to get a good total on the board here.
Yeah, they're going to have to do that. Gloucestershire will be chasing. So as Tom Abel said, you're going to go deep in the competition. If you want to win it, you're going to have to bat first. But it does certainly seem there's a trend towards teams bowling first, thinking, right, whatever you get, we can get it. Let's have a look at the Somerset team, because Sophie, a couple of changes, isn't there, with Josh Davey and Craig Overton missing out due to those concussion protocols?
Yeah, there are. So Jack Brooks plays his first T20 of the year for Somerset, and Lewis Goldsworthy, the left-arm spinner, comes back into the squad. So yeah, really excited to see those two come back into the squad. Really excited to see Jack Brooks. He's a great character, great player, isn't he? Always an entertainer, so it'll be a great evening for him, I'm sure.
Yeah, Jack Brooks made his Somerset T20 debut last year, a little bit unexpectedly. We were expecting to have him up in the commentary box. We lost his services, but wasn't he brilliant? And with Craig Overton missing, the strike bowler, the new ball bowler, and Josh Davey, those two have taken so many wickets in the front end of the innings in the last couple of years. It's a big miss. So let's go through that team in full. Tom Banton will take the gloves. Will Smead, Riley Rousseau, Somerset South African superstar. Tom Abel, the skipper. Tom Lammonby batting at 5 now. If you remember this game last year here at Cooper Associates County Ground, wow, didn't he put on a show? Lewis Gregory in at 6. Ben Green, fresh from his, well, not quite fresh, but 5 wickets here a couple of weeks ago in the T20 Vitality Blast. Rudolph van der Merwe, the hero of the previous derby. Lewis Goldsworthy. Peter Siddle is the second overseas player for Somerset, and Jack Brooks, as Sophie was saying. Gloucestershire, a couple of changes for them as well. Big blow as well. We talked about Somerset missing Craig Overton, Sophie. Gloucestershire are missing the man who is their main bowler, but the leading bowler in the competition. David Payne's missing out. Yeah, it's a big blow for them, but I think the Gloucestershire dressing room will be really pleased for him as well, getting an opportunity in another England squad, this time in the ODI squad, and I really hope he gets an opportunity over the next couple of games to show what he can do in an England shirt. He's obviously been a star performer for Gloucester for a number of years, did really well in the 100 last year at Welsh Fire as well, so yeah, it will be a miss for them, but I'm sure they've got the capable hands of Mohammed Amir to come in. Yeah, making his Vitality Blast debut for Gloucestershire tonight, Mohammed Amir. He was an integral part there. We see it on screen now. He was integral to Essex's run to the final in 2019. They ended up winning it. He wasn't there, but he was a brilliant performer for them. So they've got him. So their team in full. Couple of changes. Matt Taylor comes in at the end for Josh Shaw. And Miles Hammond, James Bracey, Ian Cobain, who's come, well, not from nowhere, because Gloucestershire fans have known about him for a long time, but a brilliant story to see him playing T20 leagues around the world. Glenn Phillips, wow, what a cricketer he is. He can hit the ball a long way, bowls a little bit of off spin as well. Jack Taylor, the skipper. Ryan Higgins, Benny Howe and his box of tricks. He's talked about having a dozen variations. Tom Smith, Mohammed Amir, Zach Chappell and Matt Taylor. Decent side that, Sophie, but Somerset are going to have their work cut out. Yep, they are. I like the options that Gloucester have gone with in terms of 2 left-arm seamers. They've obviously brought Matt Taylor into the 11 as well. Tom Smith with his left-arm spin, and I'm sure they'll look to use potentially Glenn Phillips early doors in the power play to sneak an over or 2. So yeah, they're looking strong, and yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game for Somerset. The teams are very evenly matched, I think. Every time I talk about Gloucester, I talk about them being very strong as a unit, and they work very well together. There's no real sort of superstars if you take out Phillips and Amir, but yeah, together they're a very strong unit. Yeah, how much fun is it? People like Benny Howe and Ian Cobain, to see them plying their trade around the world. I mean, Cobain was playing club cricket, and by his own admission, not playing it very well across in Australia. Got called up. Were they strikers he played for? Yeah, I think it was. He did. And ended up getting gigs around the world. It's amazing, isn't it? It is amazing, and you know, he was sort of drafted into that squad, and not only did he just get an opportunity, he took that opportunity as well, and you're doing it on one of the biggest stages around the world. And yeah, you talk about Benny Howell there as well. You know how many tricks he's got up his sleeve, and
yeah, I'm sure on a belter of a wicket tonight, he'll be trying to use all those tricks to try and outfox the Somerset batters.
Yeah, he certainly will, and we're going to see that up front as well. Just remember, a few moments ago, James Bracey won the toss. He called correctly, and he asked Somerset to have a bat. Talking about world stages, there's no bigger stage in the world for me to play Vitality Blast cricket than the Cooper Associates County Ground. Now, as ever, we're brought to you in conjunction with Trade Nation, our wonderful sponsors. And going to slip in next to me right for a second is Charlie Rowe from Trade Nation. You'll be able to see on the commentary box cam very shortly. Resplendent orange. Don't forget, how's that, Trade Nation? The brilliant competition that they sponsor, free night stay for 2 people at the Carvis Bay Hotel. Someone will win during the interval. Good evening, Charlie. Welcome back to the Cooper Associates County Ground. It's always lovely to have you here.
Good evening, Michael.
The crowds from London this morning?
Did, yeah. Ventured across. Obviously here nice and early set up for Batfast, which is gone down like a storm as most home games, so which is great to see. So, like I said, we're here until the first innings, so if you're in the ground, feel free to have a go at the Batfast. Sophie had a go earlier, and I was very impressed.
For anyone who hasn't been listening before, or fancy to try listening in the ground, what does the Batfast entail?
Cricket simulator. It's basically, it varies in speed. The guys there, they set this up around the world. It's such an incredible activity. So, and it's not easy as well. And as you would say, Sam, you had a go a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
I did have a go. We kind of stitched up one of my co-commentators, Harry Everett, the other day, because he had a go in the last game. He's not on commentary tonight. He got bowled twice. So he was in here on comms in the county championship game, talking about how he modelled his batting on Tom Abel. So we thought, right, well, we're going to get the footage of him in the Batfast. So head down there if you're in the ground this evening. It's really good fun. It's well worth.
Yeah, we get from quickly. Yeah, it's a really good activity, and it's great to see people get involved and enjoying themselves.
Okay, well, Charlie, Trade Nation, for those of us who are uninitiated, like I'm uninitiated in everything in life. Could you give us a little bit of background about you guys at Trade Nation, what you do?
Of course, yeah. Trade Nation, we are an online trading platform specialising in CFDs and spread betting. Obviously launched in 2020 under this brand, and it's been an incredible couple of years. Obviously been involved with Somerset as a proud sponsor for a couple of years as well. Basically, our tag is very much a fresh approach to trading. We want to be a support network for people wanting to start to trade and test it out, and we've got a state-of-the-art trade simulator where you can just go on our platform and try some trades, no sign-ups, no real money. You can just try it out, feel comfortable with it, and it's great. And I think we're very proud to be involved here at Somerset, and obviously see the players don the Trade Nation across their shirt for the second season now. So I personally love it coming down here across. Obviously we're based in London, but obviously involved here at Somerset, so I love coming across here and getting involved. And basically, so I'd encourage anyone to have a look at our website, tradenation.com.
For someone like me, if I was like, right, I quite fancy having a go, we've got the simulator. Are there other learning materials available for me?
Absolutely, yeah. Our website is full of materials. We've got some analysis, people that have been in the industry for years supporting and giving information, social media, market updates. Basically really just trying to support you and give you the tools to make it's not for everyone naturally, but it's we're proud of what we do, and it's plenty on the website to click through.
Well, I would recommend then steering yourself towards that website. Now let's talk about the competition a little bit. How's that, Trade Nation? Some amazing prizes we gave away last year. They were fantastic. Technology based. But this year, you've gone for a slightly different approach.
Yeah, we thought when we were looking at what we can do, we thought it's been obviously a tough year around the world, but to really support local businesses and local activities. So we thought, why don't we go for a sort of southwest theme? So that's what we've been doing, and obviously a cricket theme as well. So I think last week was the highly popular Hub Box restaurant. We've got a prize coming up later on, the Wave, which is obviously the popular surfing. I've never been myself, but I've heard great things about it. The surfing experience, and tonight is obviously the hotel stay, which is down in St Ives. So yeah, it's something we're very passionate about, and sort of supporting the local businesses and stuff. And yeah, it's great to sort of see people. Obviously, I once I get the details of the winner, I email them vouchers. So it's always great to get a nice email back saying thank you so much. You know how much it means a lot. So yeah, I'd encourage anyone to enter the competition. What is the I should know this. It's the hotel stay tonight, isn't it?
It's the Carbis Bay Hotel. So it's an off-peak voucher, so it's perfect when the crowds have gone. If maybe your teachers, it's a voucher for 2 people, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if the crowds are gone, your teachers, you can nip down there in October half term. You never email me any prizes.
Yeah, I'll make a note of that. Do you have a couple of stress balls here if you want?
Yeah, similar. I mean, I've had a look at the website, Charlie, and I'm not sure the stress ball's quite going to cut the mustard. But yeah, wonderful prize. So remember to listen out, because if you've entered in the week building up or in the last couple of weeks, I might be giving you a call during the interval. We're going to have the wheel spun by Sophie Luff today.
Yes.
It's her debut on the wheel. Now, have you got any top tips for the wheel, Charlie? Because, you know, I remember you last year. Tom Abel as well.
Yes, Tom devastated. Just feel free to do it hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom Abel, poor lad, didn't realise that there's a bit more resistance to
Yes,
that wheel,
absolutely,
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
It did look good on
looking
camera.
forward to seeing it. You've got all the numbers ready and good to go. So yeah, I think I did watch last week on the stream, because unfortunately I couldn't make it to the ground. There was a comical element to it, but I must admit I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I've had a few comments like that. I've been told, I didn't realise it at the time, this is the reason he's been pushed out. I came in and had a real strop, because I heard that Pete Trigo was feigning to hit me with the wheel behind me, which has only just come to light. Let's talk cricket, Charlie. Is this your first West Country derby? Because last year's game was on Sky. Were you down here for this game?
I was, yeah,
really?
I was. This has been Mr. Tom Naverty.
How good was
cleared
that?
up. Yeah, absolutely.
How good was that?
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, this is the 8th game now. I'm losing count of all these games.
This season?
Yeah.
Game number 8. But yeah, home away. Yeah, it gets thick and fast, doesn't it? You feel for the players a little bit.
Exhausted watching it, let them playing in it.
Particularly in tonight's heat, would you fancy?
Yeah.
I've got factor 50 on and I'm in an aircon room.
I'm also factor 50 as well. No, looking forward to it. Obviously, shame about the guys that got the concussion protocols, but it's obviously an opportunity for others to come in and be taken to them. And there's always a bit of an edge with a derby game. I did see the Gloucester boys come in the stadium earlier actually, which was quite interesting.
Did you heckle them on the way?
No, I thought I'd better keep it professional and not do it.
Oh, that's true. I shouldn't know. The ultimate professional you are, Charlie. Yeah. If you're just joining us and you've missed this week, right? If you're just joining us, Gloucestershire and James Bracey have won the toss and they put Somerset into bat. First time for Somerset, Charlie. Do you think they'll be a bit disappointed with that?
Yeah, it adds a different dynamic, obviously chasing, but I think it'd be interesting to see. I quite like that.
Who's going to get the runs? I'll put you on the spot.
I mean, I think I said it last time I was on contact. I'm a big fan of Will Smead. I think he's just seeing him progress and absolutely incredible. So I've got a feeling Will Smead will have a good game. And I always throw my hat in for Tom Banton as well. I think, he's an absolute superstar, I think. So good luck, boys. But whoever gets him, it's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. And don't forget, we'll show you Ben Green's selection. So each week, kindly Trade Nation sponsor the home games to get £50 to a chosen charity for each 6 that's here. If it goes out the ground, it's an extra.
An extra 100, so it's 150 that. Yeah, and then that's at your discretion as well.
It is at the commentator's discretion. Yeah, well, good. I've got you well trained.
I remember you asked me last year, you won't be upset on that? Absolutely not. It's all for a great cause, so please go for it. So the few the balls go in the river, the better. The more the better.
Excellent. Well, that's it. Somerset batting first gives them a chance to bat for a full 20 overs and get as many 6s as they possibly can. Likewise, they do the same. So every 6 in the game is at least 50 quid. If it's out the ground, it's 150 quid. The players take it in turns to choose a charity. I think it's Ben Green's turn tonight. So we will have a look at that very shortly. Charlie?
I think we're about over £4,000 across all the charities so far, which is great.
It's absolutely fantastic. You do the same down at Essex too, don't you?
We do, yeah. They've been doing some stuff for the Essex Foundation, so yeah, it's all part.
That's what it's all about. Right. I'm going to put you on the spot again, Charlie.
Done.
I know you're going to say Somerset are going to win. Go on, give us a feel. What does the game look like in the eyes of Charlie Rowe?
I've told you before, I'm a little bit of a newbie to cricket, so it's a bit of a crash course the last couple of seasons, but I've got a feeling we're going to have a really strong batting performance tonight. I just got to think the crowd is a great crowd, great weather, and I think they're going to give him a lot to chase. I think I'm looking forward to the Somerset bat performance.
Yeah, Somerset batting first. Right, let's hear from Paul Tweddle, the assistant coach. He's with Rob.
Fielding coach, who's just been listening to the message about keeping your shirt on. It's going to be tricky though, Paul. It's a hot one.
Absolutely, I want to take mine off. Yeah, absolutely. Keep yourself sun safe this evening.
Good stuff. Atmosphere-wise, obviously, I mean, West Country derbies are always special, but when it's like the hottest day in months, this is a particularly special one, isn't it? And of course, the reverse fixture went so well for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great result the other night, and it's one of those dates in the diary that you really look out for. So yeah, we're right up for it tonight.
How does your job adapt during this past week? Because of course you've had the county championship game with Surrey to contend with, which obviously is a different skill set, and then you go into this pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think it's just about playing what's in front of you, getting people to adapt and know what's coming, be prepared, and then let them go and watch the ball or bowl the ball with freedom. I think that's the main important message.
Are you all collectively, players and staff, expecting a run fest tonight?
Yeah, I think traditionally the wickets have played really well here. 200 has been a good score, so expect some more runs, but you never know. You've got to play what's in front of you.
Yeah, Kent got north of 200 last time, which was enough in the end. Is 200 the par score here now?
I think the data would say maybe around that, maybe just under. So yeah, we fully expect kind of what's coming. I think the idea is just to adapt to what's in front of you and play the best cricket you can on the night.
And you know how dangerous Gloucestershire can be. They've got a great record in T20s down the years. The derbies are always nip and tuck. What are you expecting from them?
Oh, they're always a strong outfit. I think they'll be right up for this game, especially the result the other night. But they played some good cricket as well. DLS games, rain-affected games can go either way. We were coming on the right side of it. So yeah, I'll expect them to be right up for it.
And just finally, confidence in the group must be high though still. I know obviously defeat in the week, but second in the table, a chance tonight, a big chance to close that gap on Surrey.
Yeah, I think the guys are getting good at being able to play the games that come up, and they're able to brush off games that they might not have played well in, or results that have gone against them, and I think confidence is still really high in the group.
Paul, thanks ever so much for your time. Keep that sun cream on, keep your shirt on. Important messages here at a sun-drenched Taunton. Should be a great night. There's lots to look forward to. Mohammed Amir going through his warm-up paces at the moment. Gloucestershire winning the toss, bowling first, blast off in 10 minutes' time.
Yeah, confidence is still high in the group. Thanks, Rob, for that. Confidence still high in the group, and so it should be. Somerset second in the table, Sophie. Surrey top with 13 points. Somerset there with 10. Chance to close the gap, or do you not really think like that at the moment? Is it still early enough in the competition, because we're halfway through it now, to be thinking about your own results first and foremost?
Yeah, I think you've got to focus on yourselves. Look, we've talked a lot about it being a really strong group, haven't we? So that middle period of the table is quite neck and neck, and I guess we'll probably know more this time next week. There's quite a few fixtures coming up over the next 4 or 5 days or so, so the table may reshuffle at all. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm glad that Somerset's still feeling confident. You know, they're sitting nicely in second, aren't they? And they've been playing some really good cricket despite losing the last game. So yeah, it's going to be a good night.
Yeah, and Paul touched on the switch. It's the question that's always asked, go from 2020 to 4-day back to T20. As a player, does that really play on your mind at all? I mean, as a pro, you know what the game going on.
Yeah, it'd be a really interesting conversation to have with some of the guys. But they've been playing a long time now, and they're used to the schedule, aren't they? I think it's not ideal, chopping and changing formats, but you know, these guys are very skilled. They practice red ball, they practice white ball, they know what they want to deliver in each format, and then it's just about getting your mindset ready for whatever that format is that's coming up. So the boys will be ready tonight. They'll be ready to go. Friday night, packed house here at Taunton. They'll be really up for this one.
Yeah, they will certainly be up for this one. They're always up for the Vitality Blast. They're always up for every game with a little bit of extra spice in this one. Well, right, we're about 8 minutes away from the start of this one. Before we kind of guess what the scores might be, Sophie, I reckon we fire over to our friend and colleague, Mr. Trigo. He's going to tell us all about the deck they're playing on today.
Good evening and welcome to Taunton. Not only is it Friday night, it's a sellout and it's the West Country Derby. Somerset take on the old enemy Gloucester. It's going to be a fantastic game, and first impressions of the pitch are, it's going to get a bit boring saying this, but it looks an absolute belter. What you'd expect from a Taunton wicket. It's white, there's a slight tinge of grass that will keep a bit of pace in the wicket, but I think first and foremost it's going to be a great pitch. Is the temperature going to be a factor? Is it worth getting some runs on the board and relying on a bit of fatigue for the opposition chasing? If I was Tom Abel, I'd be seriously thinking about having a bat first on this and putting a bit of pressure on the opposition. It's great to see head coach Jason Kerr here. Curry, good to see you, mate.
Hello, mate.
Thoughts on the pitch, exactly what the team are after?
Yeah, look, we play on really good surfaces, as you know, here, so par's probably about 200, I would think, as we saw the other night. I don't envisage it's going to change much.
Yeah, the previous game, the opposition got 200, and even though I don't think we had our perfect game, we lost the big hitters up top, we still managed to get within around about 30 of the total, playing poorly. So we know that how good our batting lineup is, obviously, but do you think the temperature, as I said, would be a factor in terms of the decision of the toss?
Yeah, I think Abe's is pretty strong on what he wants to do. We've had a bit of a formula for winning games, but look, the reality is you've got to do it well. As you say, we were close without playing good cricket, and you know that any target here is attainable. So I back our side. Whatever we do, we've got to do it well first.
Thanks, Jason. Well, one thing we do know about tonight is a West Country Derby. There's form is out the window. Tonight, I know Tom Abel and the boys will be right up for it on a belter of a pitch.
Lovely work from Mr. Trigger. I love how good he hustles and bustles people, doesn't he? Pulls them in to the interviews. I'm sure they are willing participants. 200's a par score. If Tom Abel had won the toss, Pete Trigger would have recommended that he batted first. Does that sound about right to you, Sophie?
Yeah, look, I think Somerset have got a formula where their preference is to bowl first, isn't it? And try and chase whatever is put in front of them. But I like the fact that they're batting first tonight. It's a great opportunity for the top order to cash in, take some responsibility. Gloucester have got a good bowling lineup, but excited to see how the Somerset batters fare. And I think we've said every game, haven't we, around 200 being par, and yeah, we'll find out tonight whether 200 is par or whether they need even more on a belter.
Yeah, we certainly will. I think 200 par. Well, there was that game, Somerset 230 plus against Gloucestershire. Right, we talked a bit earlier about Trade Nation and donating 50 quid for each six. Let's find out who Ben Green has selected.
Hi guys, it's Ben Green here on a very sunny day in Taunton, and today we're partnering with Movember UK, very topical, and that's partnered with Trade Nation, and Trade Nation are kindly donating £50 for every six that happens tonight, and £150 for everyone that goes out the ground.
Of course it's Movember. Could it be anything else with Ben Green and his moustache, Sophie?
No, he was donning it pretty well there, wasn't he? A very good advocate for that charity. So yeah, you could have guessed that.
Yeah, certainly could. Here comes Gloucestershire then on their way to the middle. I tell you what, I've just realised the error. I've been calling James Bracey the skipper, haven't I, the whole time? He's not at all. It's Jack Taylor leading them out. I've just realised that. Apologies, Gloucestershire fans. I do know that. I've seen Gloucestershire numerous times. I was just looking down at my scorecard. Took a little plus, and it did miss. Gloucestershire on their way out to the middle here at the Cooper Associates County Ground, as are Will Smead and Tom Banton. They're going to open the batting for Somerset. If you're just joining us, welcome. It's an absolutely beautiful evening here in the West Country. The weather is doing the West Country Derby proud, and I'm sure the players will remember. Cast your minds back 8 days these two teams faced each other. Somerset up at Bristol went from the most unlikely of positions. Somerset claimed what was a wonderful victory, 55-7. After 6 overs they were, placed 112 with 3 balls to spare. They won't be chasing tonight. They're batting. Jack Taylor has won the toss and asked Somerset to make first use. And there's no David Payne for Gloucestershire in the side tonight, but they've got, well, I'd say a pretty adequate replacement, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, haven't really seen any of Mohammed Amir, but he's going to take the new ball from the Marcus Gothic Pavilion end, and yeah, excited to see how he goes. Gloucester have snapped him up. I think he played a couple of county championships games for them earlier in the year, but obviously got a white ball in hand now. It's going to be Smeed to face the first ball. Amir's in and playing a miss there by Smeed. Good pace, good bounce there. Exactly what Mr. Trigo was talking about in his pitch report.
Speaking of the devil, here he is, looking absolutely resplendent. Can I see the sweat patches under his arm? No, he's got way too much deodorant on for that. 200 plus, Mr. Trigo predicts. Well, Gloucestershire have started with a dot ball.
Yeah, Mr. Trigo looking very dapper tonight. Amir running away from us here. 55 on his back. Fuller delivery, and again, Smeed plays and misses that one through to Bracey.
Mohammed Amir coming in for Nassim Shah, who was at Gloucestershire earlier in the season and has had to head home a few weeks ago. So hopefully all is okay there with him, first and foremost, making sure that he's all right, his family all right. But Mohammed Amir, left arm at that point of difference.
Amir's in once more. And he's nicked it. Smeed's gone without scoring, and Somerset lose their opener in the first over. Not a bad signing for Gloucestershire. He's taken a wicket with his third ball.
Yeah, perfect start for Mohammed Amir. Looks like he just moved the first couple away from Will Smeed, play a miss, and that one I think ducked back in, and Smeed tried the same shot again, but will have to trudge off, head down. His evening's work with the bat is done. And Gloucestershire, well, you can hear the silence in the Cooper Associates campground, a party down, home crowd. Not the start they were hoping for, but plenty of time.
Yeah, not the ideal start there for Somerset. But opportunity now for Rousseau to make his mark on the game. He's been travelling pretty well in this competition to date, so he'll be hoping that he can cash in here at Taunton. He's been smoking it to all parts of this ground, to be honest, since he played his first game here at the start of the season. So he's going to just ask for a couple of guards here. Looks like he's going to be taking leg stump. We're actually right behind the bowler's arm here. It's a great view from up here, isn't it, Sam?
It's the best view in the house. Players often pop up, if they haven't been up here before, a remarkable number of them say, oh, this is better than the Andy Caddick fully inside on. And we are very lucky, aren't we?
Amir's into Rousseau then. Just knocks that one to mid-on. Phillips does the fielding there. It's a very sedate start here for Somerset. Are we looking to rebuild? Never ideal when you lose an early wicket in the power play. They'll still want to be really positive here and take the attack to Gloucester, but they'll be wary that they've already lost Smeed. And that's nicked again. Oh, it's full short. I think it's Benny Howell in there at slip. Amir's making things happen on this pitch. Somerset bats just look a little bit tentative, Sam.
Yeah, the perfect start. And we thought that it might be Glenn Phillips that stole in for the first over, but Mohammed Amir, when we've got a bowler of his quality, he's not played an awful lot of cricket in recent months. He last played T20 cricket in the Lanka Premier League for Gaul Gladiators, for Barbados Tridents as well earlier in the year. Did well there, 11 wickets at 13.5. So how comes out of slip?
Yeah, interesting that. Just find the edge and field change. Last ball of the over then. And again, bit of a waft there from Rousseau. Somerset 0 for 1 after the first over, and that's a great start for Gloucester, great start for Amir.
Oh, the perfect start, isn't it? I mean, how we had a maiden here, didn't we? Tom Lammonby started with one in the Kent game, I think it was. Did he start with a maiden, or was it the game before? I'm trying to think. We had one. Anyway, the point is we had one, but wicket maidens, I mean, they are so rare, so precious in Vitality Blast cricket. You bring in left-arm seamer Mohammed Amir on his debut, dismisses Will Smeed, so dangerous. We're going to see another left-arm Matt Taylor. They keep coming. It's in vogue at the moment, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I don't want to blame Charlie Rowe there from Trade Nation, but he said that he was expecting Will Smead to top score tonight, so he's put the mockers on him.
Certainly has. Left arm seam then of Matt Taylor. No slip in. Banton can only push it to cover when Zach Chappell, tall figure of Zach Chappell, is waiting on loan from Nottinghamshire. I do wonder if there might be a permanent deal on the cards. It looks like there's such a strong bowling attack up at Notts, it's really hard to break into. And I like the players that will just move away, go and play some cricket, doing a fine job for Gloucestershire. I'm sure we'll see him with the ball in hand at some point during this innings. Again, Banton can't get that one away. Takes a couple of steps towards Taylor and just pushes it into the ground. I mean, this is almost stunned silence in the Cooper Associates county ground.
Yeah, very much so.
We've got a point, a cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket. Deep square leg is out. Remember, just 2 fielders out the circle. So fine leg is up. That's Mohammed Amir. And there's a fielder down at third as well, protecting that boundary. There's another play in the miss. James Bracey, half an appeal. 9 balls now of this West Country derby have gone. Somerset yet to get a run. There's that field. Bit of a surprise not to have a slip in. Well, whatever they're doing is working, though, Sophie.
Yeah, I think, look, in T20 cricket, they've obviously got an early wicket, haven't they? But it's probably Taylor's preference not to have one at this moment in time.
Banton tries to whip it through the leg side. That's his area, Tom Banton. So strong there, but that one just cannons into the pad. Nothing going yet. If you're just joining us, welcome. Somerset versus Gloucestershire, West Country derby. Vitality Blast action here at the Cooper Associates county ground. Somerset have been put into bat, yet to score a run. This game is 10 balls old. Will Smead already back in the pavilion. Mohammed Amir making a perfect start to his Gloucestershire debut. Scramble through for a single. They'll have to hurry. That was pressure. It was just pressure, wasn't it? Direct hit and he was gone there.
Yeah, pressure there. You get a bat on ball. Look, I think these guys want to take on mid-off and mid-on more often than not. But yeah, sometimes when you're under pressure, you're facing quite a few dot balls. When you do get that first one away, you know, Banton just eager to get off the mark there, and yeah, probably would have been gone had they hit there.
Yeah, Jack Taylor bowling. Matt Taylor, the brother. Matt Taylor bowling, sorry. Jack Taylor, I'm getting my Taylors wrong tonight. Jack Taylor, the skipper, doing the fielding. I wonder if he'll have a few words saying, sorry, bruv, shouldn't have been a run there later on. Last ball, the over. Tickled away, but it's straight, it's gone fine. And it's gone straight to Tom Smith at fine leg. So end of the over, 1 for 1, Somerset. Let's go and find Rob Scanlon, who's down in the fan village somewhere.
Lovely buzz here in the fan village. Get yourself an ice cream, a cool drink, enjoy a terrific view of the action, like Jamie here, birthday boy celebrating with us from Chard. Having a good night?
Oh, always good, mate. Always good down here.
I said to you off camera who you support in Somerset or Gloucestershire. What did you say?
Sorry.
Get out. Get out.
Thanks very much, Rob. There is the Thatcher's balloon. That's a new addition. It's like, it doesn't need to be subliminal messaging for me, that, Sophie. That is telling me what I want to do after this game.
Yeah, it's looking pretty there, isn't it? In front of the Quantox. Amir's in again. Again, Banton plays and misses. Not been much bat on ball so far. Gloucester have they've come out, they've won the toss, they've come out and they've hit their straps very nicely. The two left arm seamers in Amir and Taylor. Not really giving Somerset anything. Probably say that Taylor aired a little bit too straight the last ball of his previous over, and Rousseau could only find short, fine legs, so missed out there. Banton just tucks that one into the leg side. Gets Higgins out there that does the fielding from deep square leg. And again, it's an interesting period, this, isn't it? You know, power play, you can only have 2 fielders outside of the ring. Somerset will be wanting to cash in, but they'll be well aware that they've lost an early one. And, you know, it's weighing up that rotation of strike. Do I go hard for boundaries? is in again. Short ball. Rousseau doesn't get any bat on that one.
Take the pace off that one into the pitch?
Potentially. Rousseau was through the shot quite early, wasn't he, there? Not sure if we can see a replay of that one.
It's a magnificent start base for Gloucestershire. What's that? 6 plays and misses already. Include that one.
Another field change here. Deep mid-wicket. Heading out towards the boundary in front of the Somerset stand there. Got deep square leg, deep mid-wicket. That's well bowled by Mir. Looked like he was properly bowling to a plan there, Sam.
Yeah, saw Riley Rousseau, didn't he, advancing down the crease and just speared it into him. This is really clever stuff from Mohammed Amir.
I think it's great, you know, speaking as someone that plays the game, captains the game, but when they make a field change, you're almost predicting what's going to happen, what he's going to bowl, and the skill of Amir, you know, he can execute exactly what he wants to do there as well, which is great to watch. Fuller, Banton, Rousseau's got to hurry here. Gone for the quick single. Not sure these two have batted much together, have they? Just trying to.
Oh no, because Banton usually goes first. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, Tom, but that has been the case so far this season. I mean, that is just hitting to the fielder on the edge of the ring. A direct hit gets you every time there, almost. And it was really clever work from Taylor because he saw that Rousseau was a bit slower off the mark. Banton was keen down to get down the other end. How easy did James Bracey make that look? Just that take on the half volley and swoop round.
Yeah, he's a very good player, isn't he? Very good keeper. Amir's in. So hits it to mid-off. Almost shaped as if he wanted to ramp there. Trying to be a little bit clever. But again, it's well bowled by Amir, and Somerset 4 for 1 off 3. We don't say that too often, Sam, do we?
I know, the Cooper Associates county gun, I said it after 1 over. I mean, it's just fallen completely silent. I mean, I kind of feel silent. I can't be because I'm here to talk. But how good was that from Mohammed Amir? He's bowled 2 overs, gone for 2 runs, taken the wicket. Rousseau, as you said, he just had a little bit of fancy footwork, trying to put him off his line and length. All that experience. Now we're going to do what I do best. It's a bit unlucky there, Rousseau. He actually struck it too well. There wasn't a single.
Yeah, I think that's what pressure does as well, though. You know, is the ramp Rousseau's best option? But yeah.
Zach Chappell into the attack then. Starts with one that just strays onto Tom Banton's legs and turns it round the corner for a single. So Banton moves on to 4 off just 9 balls. I'll say just 4 off 9 balls it should be. Riley Rousseau is yet to get off the mark after 7 deliveries. That's going to start to play on his mind.
Yeah, it is. But he's just got to trust that he's done it all before. He's a very good player. But yeah, his heart will be pumping here. He'll be under pressure.
Round the wicket, Chappell comes. Gives himself some space, but Chappell straightens up and it's an inside edge onto the pads. Rousseau is off the mark then. He got off the mark with a 6 in his last innings here at the Cooper Associates county ground against Kent. Here it's taken him 8 balls. It's an inside edge onto his pads. It's got him. Somerset under real pressure here. It's gone right for Gloucestershire. They bowled superbly since Jack Taylor won the toss. All has gone their way. Jack Taylor elected to bowl first. Just saw Banton coming there, perhaps. Chappell tried to follow him. It's gone down the leg side, so picked up a couple of much-needed extras from a Somerset perspective. Ring of fielders with a short third, a point, cover, extra cover. Mid-on, mid-off, a right back on the 30-yard circle, as we so often see. 2 boundary riders on the leg side, and a short fine leg. Banton goes over the top. That is the first boundary of the evening. It bounced just inside the ring. I was about to call it the first 6, but it'll do.
It will do. I actually, from here, that looked like it went for 6, but we are quite a way away from it, so I won't challenge the umpire on that occasion. But that's what we want. We need to get going here, and Banton yeah, trying to apply a little bit more pressure back onto the Gloucestershire bowlers, and it's good to see.
We get another boundary as well. 1 brings 2, boundary-wise. Just straightened up, Banton stepped inside it and just turned it round the corner. You can hear some applause in the People Associates County ground.
How often do you see that as well, where, you know, Banton's put Chappell under pressure that previous ball, hit him back over his head, and then Chappell tries to do something a little bit different. He's feeling under pressure because he's just gone for a boundary, and he's just a little bit straying down the leg side there, and Banton helps himself.
He tried to help himself to that one, and 4 stump line that was. Big swing and a miss. You can see why Chappell's got his head in his hands.
I reckon if Banton had connected with that, though, that was going a long way. Remind me, I watched Liam Livingston earlier, batting for England, and he was swinging so hard. I almost didn't know how he was staying on his feet. He was swinging that hard.
It was very much a golf swing in that, wasn't there? Last ball, the over. Content just to flick it into the leg side where there's plenty of space. He picks up a single. 4 overs gone on the power play then. Somerset move on to 16 for 1. Riley Rousseau has 1. Tom Banton has 13. Somerset's lowest power play score of the season so far was up away at Gloucestershire, 25 for Friday, where that was only 3 overs, but they are well below par here at the moment. Unless the pitch has something in it that Pete Rigo didn't see.
Yeah, they're struggling at the minute, only going at 4s in the power play, but I think you've got to remember that, you know, as Pete alluded to, it's a very good wicket, and once you get in here at Taunton, you can really cash in. So these two can definitely catch up. It's going to be Matt Taylor from the Marcus Truscothick Pavilion end. Banton just edges that one out to a deep backward point there, really. They've got a short third, and they had a deep backward point to Banton there.
It's all kind of changed, hasn't it? You used to hide fielders down at third in fine leg. These days you see fast bowlers being hidden at backward point in T20 cricket quite a bit.
Taylor's into Rousseau, who whips this one off his legs, and that's gone all the way for 4. A much needed boundary for Rousseau. Somerset just getting a little bit of momentum in the last couple of overs, which is really good to see. Yeah, you're talking about fielders. I was actually surprised to see the tall figure of Zach Chappell at extra cover at one point during this innings already, and you wouldn't see a fast bowler at extra cover too often. Has he got enough on that? Yes, he has. Rousseau whips that away over deep square leg.
First 6 of the night, first £50 to Movember UK. Remember, Ben Green selected that charity and Trade Nation. Kindly donate 50 quid for each 6. Riley Rousseau gave himself some room. Tried to follow him, Taylor, but just shows, doesn't it? You've just got to keep your head. It's all right to face a couple of dot balls.
Inside edge there, down to short fine. I think that's Tom Smith doing the fielding there. But again, Rousseau looking to shape up as if he's maybe going to premeditate something behind the wicket. But yeah, like you say, you know, Rousseau's just scored, you know, 10 off 2 balls, 11 off 3 balls there, so he can score quickly at this ground. Taylor's in, and Banton whips that through the leg side, through mid-wicket. Very Banton-esque shot, that one.
Yeah, Tom Banton at Tom Banton's best. Don't bowl there, I think.
And as a result, it's going to be field change. Deep points coming up into the ring, sending mid-wicket to the boundary for the last ball of this 5th over. Doesn't get all of that. Just one bounce out to deep square leg. and I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Sam, and Mr. Trigo is going to come on air.
That's very kind of you, Sophie, to be capable and me up a bit. Yeah, brilliant to have Sophie Luff with us tonight, and Peter Trigo is alongside us as well. There's that Somerset scorecard. Will Smead gone, first ball, Somerset 0 for 1. They've recovered a little bit, 5 overs. It was slow going to start with, but 33 for 1. Mr. Trigo, good evening. You looking dapper?
Good evening, Sam, and thanks to Sophie for that marvellous introduction. I'm hoping to bring some runs to the fold. 5 overs, 33. Come on, lads. I think they bowled pretty well. Mohamed Amir, tricky customer, getting that one to slide across Will Smead. You sense the groans in the ground, don't you, when Smeady gets out early? Interesting move here now. Spin inside the power play. That'll be a green light. Tom Banton, and he accepts first ball, stepping down the wicket and bopping it over mid-off for a couple of bounces into the boundary boards in front of the Colin Atkinson Pavilion. A sign of intent there, Sam.
Yeah, and it's just a couple of nice shots from Tom Banton, and wouldn't he love to get going in the Vitality Blast? It's been a little bit hit and miss, probably more miss in this tournament so far, but this could be his night. Glenn Phillips into the attack.
Yeah, a little bit of a gamble here, I think. Bowling spin to someone who can play all around the wicket as he top edges one straight to mid-off. And Tom Banton's night is again over. It promised much, but has only delivered 23 runs. I felt like it was a bit of a gamble, Sam, bowling a spinner to someone with the capabilities of Tom Banton, but he's tried to waltz down and pop that over mid-wicket. Interesting move that for a guy who's got so many shots, an array of shots that span 360 degrees of the ground. He's almost tried to hit it into the area that did have 2 fielders in. Would have loved to have seen him try and hit that a lot straighter. Looked like he was trying to manipulate that across the line, and that brought the leading edges. Skipper Tom Abel joins the informed Riley Rousseau at the wicket. Big job to do again for the captain.
Yeah, I feel like we have to take responsibility for that. We kind of double commentated to Kirst it. You know, I said he looked good. You said that you were halfway through saying big gamble, and up it went. But yeah, Banton is gone. Replaced by another Tom who is more than capable of the bat.
It is a shame. As a commentator, I suppose you can only predict what would happen. We knew he was going to be aggressive. He loves facing spin. He's normally very dominant against spin. I'm sure the stats would back that up. Just unfortunately, Tom's blast season so far has lacked a bit of execution as Tom Abel faces his first ball. Back and across. Flicks it into the leg side and he collects a 1. A sigh of relief as every batter feels that when they register their first run of the night.
I think that early pressure might have been playing on Tom Banton's mind a little bit, even though he'd started to get going. Still well aware Somerset are behind where they want to be.
Yeah, I think one of the difficult things in that situation, Sam, is you've invested a lot of balls into your 23, and you do kind of have a responsibility to kick on a little bit. It's a really bad bit of timing getting out in the last over of a power play. Obviously, no one makes a mistake on purpose, but I think once you've got through the power play and you've used all of those balls up, maybe it's time just to rethink things and make sure you take your innings a little bit deeper, but not to be. I think it's been kind of the nature of Tom Banton's last season so far. He's looked so good, as he always does, but seems to be finding ways to get out, which is a big shame. But Riley Rousseau's in great form, and he's at the wicket now.
Yeah, these two responsible for that huge partnership together on the first day of the season. 121 off 73 balls down at Kent. Wouldn't they like to replicate something like that here?
Yeah, they certainly would. Riley Rousseau giving himself a bit of room. Glenn Phillips dropped short. He swats that through the covers for a boundary. 9 runs off the over, but more importantly, the wicket of Tom Banton. Glenn Phillips, I think if someone like that bowls in a power play, you kind of think, from a batting perspective, it's a green light to try and get one of those 15+ overs. I think that was definitely in Tom Banton's mind there when he ran down the wicket that second time. Unfortunately, just miscuing it to mid-off. Good catch, and the gamble paid off from a Gloucester perspective.
Yeah, it was clever to bring him on, because we wondered if often you see the spinner bowler kind of surprise, or not such a surprise over at first up, but they used Mohammed Amir, they used Matt Taylor, they used Zach Chappell, and I wonder if there was in the skipper's head going, well, they're under pressure here, let's throw a spinner on, see if their eyes light up, and they do try and overplay it.
Well, it's such an important over, really, because you don't want to give batsmen or the batting side that impetus into the middle of the innings. But also you don't want to use one of your gun bowlers. You want to save them for the death as Benny Howell comes into bowl. Famous for all of his different baseball grips, knuckleballs, cutters. Absolutely known as a bit of a cricket badger. I think he would even describe himself as a badger. He posts a load of videos on his social media, flicking balls out of his hands and trying lots of different creative deliveries. Also fresh back from the IPL. He's away with Kings 11 Punjab, so he's probably learnt a lot of tricks of the trade being out there, playing a lot of franchise cricket all around the world. Benny Howell.
Yeah, wonderful to see the opportunities. I was talking about Ian Cobain a little bit earlier on, how he came from just playing club cricket, got the call up to play for the Adelaide Strikers. Howell was a similar story too, because he's got an Australian family. He was over there a couple of seasons ago, ended up playing in the Big Bash. All those variations, worked on his power hitting too, and he's a key part of this Gloucestershire T20 side, has been for a number of years now, with both bat and ball. Keeper up, Rousseau just can't quite get it away. No. Miles Hammond.
We're being well looked after tonight though, Sam, aren't we? For those tense moments, we've got the Trade Nation stress balls in here. I'm going to be having a good squeeze of those when it gets a little bit closer towards the end of the night.
Yeah, I said to Charlie, you never give me anything when we talk about the prizes. He said, I'll give you a stress ball, so I had to apologise.
You obviously looked very anxious when you were complaining. Oh, Tom Abel just bunts the ball back to Benny Howell again. The master of all these different slower deliveries, and Tom Abel is there way too early and just popped a return catch back to Benny Howell. Really disappointing end for the Somerset captain, and again Somerset in a little bit of strife. 45 for 3 now. Just coming out of the power play, that's the last thing you want, especially one of Tom Abel's biggest assets is how good he is between the wickets as well. He can really run aside ragged in that middle period. But not tonight. A big job now to be done for the next man in, Tom Lammerby. Good opportunity for him to face a lot of balls. This is probably one of the earliest times he's been to the wicket, so a good chance for him to show us what he showed us towards the back end last year.
Well, yeah, and it just brings back memories of this game last season. 90 off 36 balls in the West Country Derby here at Taunton, and he's going to have to pull up something similar tonight, you'd think. Somerset in real trouble. I mean, there's that stat, isn't there? I think it's something like if you lose 3 wickets in the power play, you only go on and win like 20% of the game. Well, basically, it's not 3 wickets in the power play, but it's virtually, what, 3 balls afterwards, 4 balls afterwards? Real trouble here.
Yeah, the stats, you know, there's such a large range of games now to collate these stats on, and I think it's if one of your top 4 gets 80, you win 75% of your games. If you lose 3 wickets in the first 6 overs, you lose 80% of your games. And you know, with such a massive case study available now, Somerset certainly have their backs to the wall, but the capabilities are certainly there. Tom, you know, Lammerby at the crease now, Riley Rousseau in resplendent form. You've got Lewis Gregory fresh off of 100. The Swerve van der Merwe, he can do just about anything. Ben Green, you know, the quality does keep coming, but big responsibility on these 2 left-handers at the moment as Benny Howell comes in again. Another off-pace delivery. Lots of knuckleballs, lots of cutters. Very few on-pace deliveries. Very, very intelligent over that from Benny Howell, who completes his first over. 1 wicket for only 3 runs.
Yeah, his pace on ball is almost a surprise one, isn't it, these days for him? And I tell you what, I take some comfort in what you just said, Peter Trigo. I always take some comfort in what you say. But Somerset still have one of their top 4 out there. So if Riley Rousseau gets 75, the odds swing back in their favour?
Yeah, if Riley gets 80 plus, we're guaranteed to win. I think that's what the stats
said. But how can that? Because if you lose 3 wickets, you're also guaranteed to lose. So are you calling a tie if Riley gets 80?
Maybe it makes it a 50-50. Is there do we have a wasp or anything like that?
I've
I've given up predicting anything.
Mystic Trigo's gone away. Phillips around the wicket. So Lammonby, 2 left-handers out there for Somerset. And that leg side boundary is protected by a deep square leg, deep mid-wicket, and a long on. Lammonby just pushes it.
Yeah, I don't have my crystal ball, but I do have my little stress ball keeping me company tonight. Very, very stressful watching Somerset the last few weeks. So many highs, but the occasional dip in form that seems to come out of nowhere. Desperate to see Will Smead and Tom Banton, you know, just find that bit of consistency. And they're such amazing players when they get going. Riley Rousseau's been absolutely fantastic pretty much throughout so far, so big performance from him tonight. I saw him a couple of days ago. He looks lighter than last time I saw him. He looks like he's got himself really fit. He even admitted he likes his computer games. He plays, I think he plays at professional level online. He's a gamer. He's one of the gamers. I don't understand that, but he plays a lot of computer games, and he was telling me he's wound that in and focused on his game, and it certainly shows since he's turned up at Somerset. At Taunton, he's been absolutely fantastic. Looks fit, looks hungry for runs.
Well, it's only a small thing, but I was down here for the county championship game and down there doing one of the videos, and he was out there warming up with the lads, and it would have been very easy for him to go off and do his own thing for 4 days, but actually he was here.
Yeah, good sign. He would have fitted in well as a personality. When I've played with and against him, he always seems a cracking lad. But like I said, he's probably got to that sort of age where he really wants to maximise his talent, and he certainly has an abundance of that. Then Phillips still bowling from the river end. Any time an off-spinner bowls from the river end, that's got to be a bit of a licence to thrill for the batters, but maybe not in this situation.
And is that what do you think Taylor has kept an off-spinner on? Actually, that's why he's got a second over. If Somerset were 51 for 1 off 7.5 overs, do you think someone else would be on?
Yeah, well, I think these are bonus overs. I think you're getting those extra overs out of someone that might have only bowled 2 or 3. Looks like he's probably going to end up bowling his 4, save someone else. It gives you variety towards the back end. As we saw the other night, Josh Davey and Ben Green bowling simultaneous overs at the death. It gives the batter a chance to sort of line you up. That's what you want. You want variety as much as possible in those death periods.
Right, Rob is down with the Thatcher's Golden seat, somewhere in the crowd.
With Thatcher's Gold in the Somerset stand. A few of my old teammates at Western Cricket Club, they couldn't catch a cold when I played with them. Let's see. Bit of top spin on that one. Well held. Do your shirt up.
There we go. Good bit of work with the hands there from that gentleman in the crowd. They will win a slab, I think. Is that what they call it? A slab of Thatcher's?
A few lads there, I recognise them. A couple of lads that play for Thornbury Cricket Club. No wonder he dropped it.
Did he drop it?
No, I don't know.
Will they be away fans, will they then? Probably, enjoying their evening. Just got a little bit better. How to continue. Again, pace off, and Rousseau can just pad it back to him. Not seen Ryan Higgins yet with the ball, not seen Tom Smith. So this is the sign. In these days, T20 teams, they all got 7, 8 bowlers up their sleeve. Long off, long on, posted down in front of us here in the Microscopic Pavilion. There's a couple of other fielders providing cover on the leg side. So shapes to go leg side. Howe fires one in outside off. It was Fuller, pace off. And he's just driven it through the covers for a 1 bounce 4 or so.
Yeah, flat batted, I would say. It looks like Riley's read the play. He's setting himself for Benny Howell's off-pace deliveries, and he's just swatted that firm, hard through cover. No chance for the cover fielder to take that, to stop that. It was only 5 or 6 yards to his left, and absolutely no chance to reel that in. Again, another ball outside off stump. Bit of touch there, but unfortunately straight to point. That was a yard either side of being 4 runs as well. Riley Rousseau is looking in superb touch tonight. Hopefully he can continue that through the evening.
A little bit of mind games going on as well, both with bowler and batter. The previous ball was so feigned to go away to the leg side and ended up creaming it through the covers. That time he made a step early and stood there. Just couldn't get that one away. Lovely touch there from Rousseau. Just dab of the bat fielder at short third couldn't do anything about that. You just have to go and retrieve the ball from in front of the Colin Atkinson pavilion. Soft hands from Riley Rousseau. He moves on to 28 from 22 balls. After that slow start, took him 9 balls to get off the mark. But he's kept his head. Somerset moved on to 61 for 3. I'll think about a couple here. Lammonby's quick. Yeah, good bit of running there. Phillips had about 30 yards to make to his right, and that pressure. Tom Lammonby was straight back, gets the thumbs up from Riley Rousseau. A bit of pressure. Phillips would have been getting shouts from his fellow fielders. Ended up being a misfield and a comfortable 2.
Excellent piece of running there. Realised he hadn't quite timed it, Tom Lammonby, and scampered a 2. Really important. I think you'd call this a rebuilding period. Ideally, you don't have these in T20 cricket, being such a condensed format. But the start has dictated that these two maybe have to bat slightly within themselves just to take the game deep. You know, probably looking to, instead of having that death hitting period from maybe 12, 13 overs to the end, you probably have to leave it to more like 15, 16 just because of those wickets we've lost.
So where do they want to be? If you say, so if that death period, those 4 or 5 overs is what, 10 and over minimum, where do they want to be before that comes?
Well, you still have to have an eye on 180. I think 180 really is a minimum here at Taunton, so you still want to be within striking distance of that. So you want to you stay around the 8 runs and over mark, even when you're just knocking it around. At the end of the day, if you break it down how the top batters would, it's 1 boundary and over and some good running. That gets you your 8, 9 and over. You don't have to do too much. You don't have to take too many risks as Zach Chappell comes into the attack on loan from Nottinghamshire. Former teammate of mine, Zach Chappell, can bowl with some pace. He's certainly a guy that can occasionally go the distance. Bowls with that sort of extra pace on. Sometimes on an off night the edges fly everywhere, but he does have the ability to bowl very, very quick, hostile spell. Looks like he's going for a lot of off cutters as well. Clearly a tactic of the Gloucester team tonight. Again, another off cutter delivery into Tom Lammonby's hip. They'll have a look at 2, but no, some pretty good fielding out there in the deep by the Gloucester pair.
Yeah, another one that followed that Stuart Broad path from Leicestershire to Nottinghamshire. Good move for him to get out on loan and a potential long-term option for Gloucestershire, because it's so hard to get into that Notts bowling attack.
Yeah, he's a very talented bowler. There's no doubt about that. He's bowled some great spells for Nottinghamshire, but you know, you've got Dane Patterson and Stuart Broad comes in, and James Pattinson,
Fletcher, Hutton.
Yeah, well, Fletcher, Hutton, they've got an incredible staff of bowlers. So, you know, Zach's, you know, is mid to late 20s now, so it's about time that he gets some cricket under his belt. As we look at the scorecard, no runs, sadly, for Will Smead, but Riley Rousseau, 33 off 26 balls, going along nicely here. Tom Lammonby on strike. Short ball. Kind of plinked, as they say. Plinked out to the mid-wicket boundary. Plinked or clothed or stickered or something like that. I'm sure there are a number of phrases for an ill-timed shot.
Remember, Somerset, after 3 overs, were 4 for 1. So actually, they're going along all right run rate-wise since then. 64 off just over 5.5.
I mean, that's the thing you've got to keep reminding yourself, and I'm sure the players do, that the difference between bowling to a batter that's in than just new to the crease is chalk and cheese here at Taunton. It's a superbly fast scoring ground. If you're in and you've got the touch, the dimensions of the ground, you can score 2-3 boundaries and over. So again, Lammonby and Rousseau are playing a fantastic little rebuilding period here before the launch. I think they'll just bat in a similar vein for the next 4 or 5 overs and then reassess where they are, as Lammers has mistimed another off-cutter delivery by Zach Chappell. And just as I was bigging up the way that Lammers and Rousseau were playing, we've lost another wicket. 69 for 4 now.
Clever that from Chappell, just took the pace off, and you could see Lammonby knew almost before the ball had reached him that he'd mistimed it, and he saw his head dip out, so he heads off. I'm going to head off too, Peter. Sophie Lusk going to come back in.
Sophie's coming in, hopefully a change of fortunes every time. I think that is the nature of the few games at Somerset haven't quite gone right. They just can't get that partnership, that 40, 50, 60 partnership that can be so hard to bowl against. Lewis Gregory fresh off a fantastic 100 striding to the crease. We all know the capabilities he has with the bat. Riley Rousseau desperately needs a partner. Is Lewis the man?
Evening, Pete.
Hi, Soph, how are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, a bit of a stuttering start here from Somerset, but the run rate isn't disastrous. 7 over, certainly not where you want to be. But we're really lacking a partnership at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, and yeah, hopefully Gregory's the man that can partner Rousseau here. He's been going nicely, Rousseau, so yeah, he can't do it all on his own though. He needs a partner at the other end just to, I think Lewis can give himself a couple of overs here just to settle in, rotate strike, get Rousseau onto strike and ease himself into his innings, and then hopefully go big at the end. That's the plan, isn't it? That
will be definitely the plan, but I know Lewis, you know, on the back of the week that he's had, he'll be looking to not mess around, I'm sure, but again, it's about what the team need at the moment. Riley Rousseau going really well, striking at 125, which is under where he has been striking for Somerset, but he's having to constantly come back down the gears because of wickets falling at the other end. So really important that Lewis brings his form from the Championship 100 that he scored into tonight. He'll be feeling on top of the world. First class hundreds don't come around too often, and having one under your belt going into a Friday night at West Country derby, the sun shining, absolutely rammed to the rafters here at Taunton. Not too many better cricket experiences, bar playing probably for your country.
Top ball there as Lewis just knocked that one into extra cover. Similar result that ball as well. Phillips is bowling tidily here actually.
Yeah, it's very unusual that a standard sort of off spinner gets away with bowling without getting belted back over his head, but he's obviously using a little bit of flight and guile to deceive the batters into a couple of false shots. You got the key wicket of Tom Banton, as we saw earlier on. Tom Banton was looking in really good touch, just about to kick on his innings. Sadly, top-edged that shot down the ground. It's Glenn Phillips into Riley Rousseau. Bit of fancy footwork as he knocks that into the offside. Somerset pick up another single. Again, every time you lose a wicket, so if there's another little mini rebuilding process where you're kind of just playing tap and go, aren't you? Not really maximising the boundary options, which you should be at this stage of the innings.
Phillips in again. Down to long on by Gregory. Yeah, it's really difficult, isn't it? Because, you know, they'll be looking at the scoreboard thinking, oh, we've only got 9 overs to go here. But yeah, you do just have to take a little bit of stock and just assess what options are your best options at that moment in time. You know, what options are less risk, but you're still going to get high reward for them. And hopefully they'll be having a conversation out there about what they're looking to do. You know, what score do you think they can get up to here?
Yeah, we just saw the bowling figures came up on the screen there. Mohammed Amir in particular, 2 overs for 2 runs. I can remember playing when you play against someone like a Malinga or a Muralitharan, sometimes the mentality ought to be just, you know, touch and run. You know, try and get 24 off of their 4 overs, because it, you know, the mentality to keep the gun bowler out of the wickets column. Unfortunately, Somerset have done neither. They've neither scored off him or kept him out the wickets. But that is something that someone of his quality can bring to your team. As Ryan Higgins comes into bowl. More medium pace. Is that Higgins? Yes, it's Higgins, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't miss Higgins with that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
that hairdo these days, can you?
That's a belter, that, isn't it? Big fro of curly auburn hair. What a sight. Another guy very similar to Benny Howell, will bowl a lot of off-pace deliveries, but that one was outside of the parameters. And the umpire, I believe that looks like Billy Taylor, stretches his arms, wide ball. Riley Rousseau's having none of that. Another off-pace delivery. He's waiting for it, and he has carved that over the Colin Atkinson Pavilion, out of the ground. 6 runs, and I believe another £150 for our charity.
Absolutely.
Is that still going on?
It is still going on.
God, that's a dangerous investment with Riley Rousseau at the wicket. That's gone comfortably over the stands. Brilliant shot. You can see he's waiting for it. Smart bit of cricket, that. Ball's been thrown back on. I think Brian the Cat found it in his favourite tree over there behind the Colin Atkinson Pavilion. He's always sleeping under that tree, so thanks for that, Brian.
Quite a good arm for Brian there, throwing it back in.
Oh, he's been here for about 25 years. I think he's like that budgeriggar from Only Fools and Horses, or Trigger's Broom. Can't beat a bit of Brian the Cat here at Taunton. Another one of those great little characters of domestic English cricket. Ryan Higgins looking to close out this over halfway through. He's already been dispatched from maximum. Another back at the hand slower ball, mistimed by Lewis Gregory, but he'll pick up a single. Must just say so. Apart from that one, Lewis Gregory has been hit in the middle of the bat almost every time. Even though he's just looking to push and get in, you can tell his timing's really in. Every shot that he's played has been really crisp.
Yeah, and it's a sign of confidence, isn't it? And he'll be high on confidence after that 100 this week, regardless of what colour the ball is.
He certainly should be. As Riley Rousseau slog sweeps, another cutter from Higgins, and he dispatches that about 15 rows back into the Trade Nation stand, not out of the ground, so only 50 quid. But that was about 3 rows away from being out of here. Brilliant piece of cricket here as we watch the replay into the top tier of the Trade Nation stand at Riley Rousseau's favoured cow corner. Ryan Higgins taking a bit of damage, trying to get out the over. He goes for a Yorker. Riley Rousseau with his Phil Taylor-esque dart celebration for a 50. Riley Rousseau is on fire.
Yeah, great batting here from Rousseau. Been a pleasure to watch this innings. Been a pleasure to watch him bat in most games that he's played here, to be honest. Striking the ball beautifully. That was an expensive over there, and exactly what Somerset needed.
Yeah, that was massive. That's a real momentum shift. You can sense it now with the batters. I think that will help Lewis Gregory as well. You know, Riley Rousseau's decided to kick it up a gear. And now Lewis Gregory will probably have a bit of a license to follow suit if he sees fit. All I'm trying to send out the message is to set for the slower ball. Benny Howell on again. Knuckleballs, cutters, very few on-pace deliveries. There we go, another knuckleball first delivery. They scamper to Riley Rousseau, the fit, strong. Riley Rousseau scampering back for 2. Brilliant running by those two. I think they would have played a lot against each other. I think I'm right in saying they may have played in the same T10 side, or at least would have played a fair bit against each other, not only in English domestic cricket, but all around the world. So Lewis Gregory is well versed in Benny Howell's repertoire of deliveries.
Howell's in again. Just going to settle for 1 this time.
Yeah, another slower ball. I'm pretty confident in saying that at least 5 of these balls will be the different variations. He bowls 1. If maybe the next over the camera could pan onto me with my stress ball, I might be able to show the audience at home the types of deliveries that Benny Howell is producing. That one was out the back of the hand from Benny Howell, very, very canny operator. As if you see the seam up, he bowls one where he drags his fingers down the side of the ball. There's one where he goes out the back, and then a knuckle ball where he holds it like that and flicks it out. And it makes the ball wobble. Very, very difficult to face, in particular the wobble seam one. Benny Howell in again, and that was right on cue, a knuckle ball from Benny Howell. I wonder if we could get that slow mode at the end of the over. Let's put our production team under a bit of pressure here, Soph.
Yeah, it'd be great to see that, wouldn't it? Great little insight there, Triggs. I think, yeah, there's so many, different variations these days. And, young boys, young girls, give them a go in the nets. You never know. Howell's in again then. Gregory knocks that up to long on. Just going to be one.
Yeah, any of you viewers, young budding seam bowlers, if you go onto Benny Howell's Instagram page or you go onto his Twitter page, he's always posting videos of him in hotel rooms, practicing different deliveries. He talks a lot about he's a massive fan of baseball, and they bowl a lot of those sort of sliders and knuckleballs. That's where he's learnt from. He's doing a very good job. Again, another knuckleball. Riley Rousseau has not picked it this time, and he's just popped it to extra cover. And that is the mastery of Benny Howell. Brilliant piece of bowling, you'd have to say there, Soph.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you've got a guy in on 50 that's seen it pretty well, and he's been outfoxed there, hasn't he? And that's the skills that Benny Howell has. I've spent a lot of time training at Bristol over the last couple of winters, and when he's not featuring in franchise cricket, Benny Howell is always at the ground. He's always there practicing. Whenever he can get in the nets, he's there either hitting balls, bowling balls. A guy that just loves getting better at his craft.
So do you think I was being mean when I described him as a cricket badger? He's a proper, he loves it, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he absolutely loves it. He's not just happy with copying other people, he's trying to innovate. Fair play to him. He's definitely got 3 or 4 deliveries in his armoury that I don't think anyone else in the world bowls, and why he gets picked up in these different competitions around the world. I mean, like you say, exactly right. To outfox someone of Riley Rousseau's quality and playing beautifully, it's completely deceived him by that knuckleball there. Did read a few little comments about our live streams. We have to be a little bit more crediting and more impartial. So there's your bit of Gloucester thumbs up, everyone. So I expect to see a thanks on the social media chat rooms and all that kind of stuff. Benny Howell, great bowler.
Looks like it's Tom Smith into the attack now. A little bit of left arm spin.
Tom Smith, another wily campaigner, bowls very well at Bristol, bit of a bigger surface, grippier pitch, but he's very, very good. He sneaks in from behind the umpire, so he kind of, there he is, you can see him now, kind of sneaks up on you and tries to get his overs in very quickly. So again, that sort of scoreboard pressure can sometimes get to you as a batter. Very, very good performer is Tom Smith.
Green off the mark there with a single into the leg side. Again, Somerset losing that wicket, they've just got to go through a little bit of a phase of rebuilding for a few balls. Green's got to get himself in, Gregory's got to get going.
Oh, just nearly chips on one back. Is suggesting that the nature of a number of the dismissals tonight is the wicket is slightly holding. Maybe we should think about sacking the person who does the pitch reports at the start. It looks like the off-cutters are starting to grip a little bit, so maybe it's a wolf in sheep's clothing, that pitch. It looked absolutely pristine, but must just be doing something. As Lewis down the wicket, over, long off, powerfully struck, flat into the bottom tier of the Colin Atkinson Pavilion. It looks like it might have struck one of the spectators. We certainly hope no one's hurt. Just a reminder, when you do come to the ground during any cricket match, but in particular a T20, make sure you're watching the game.
I mean, even if you're watching, you've just got to be on your guard, haven't you? Trying to get out of the way of it. These players these days, they hit the ball so hard.
I think maybe they could. I think Brycey from the Somerset County Stores is missing a trick. Maybe selling baseball mitts
just to protect yourself. You know, you don't want to be catching it barehanded if you're not a cricketer, but maybe bring a little protective baseball mitt. That'd be good fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would actually. Although I've seen, if you don't know how to use a baseball mitt, you might cause yourself a few,
I've watched Steve
more
Kirby. I've watched
than
Steve Kirby doing the bowl throughs. That's how to not use a baseball mitt.
Well, I've seen that he wears pads as well, so, or he's definitely got some sort of protection underneath his trousers, so maybe he doesn't back his mitting skills either.
And rightly so. Tom Smith finishes his over. Lewis Gregory on to 15. Ben Green on a solitary run. Ben Green had a nice little opportunity to bat at the back end of the Kent fixture, got 40 odd, I believe. Looked like he was in pretty decent form. Again, the in chat, what we used to talk about in the dressing room from a tactical point of view is if you lose a wicket, try and get the partnership up to 10 before you then start really looking to press. I think the opportunity to do that gets less and less the further you get into the innings. You know, really Somerset ought to be hitting 5th gear by now, but they're going to have to drag it back a little bit. Looks like Somerset are on their way to limping to an underpar score unless Lewis can do something special. Looks like a 160 looks on the cards at the moment, but like I said, maybe there is just a little bit of grip in this surface.
Yeah, I think credit to Gloucester as well. They've bowled pretty well, haven't they? They started very well in the power play and they've continued that throughout the innings.
Matt Taylor bowling from the Trescothick stand end has started well. I think you know, the evolution of 2020 cricket. Gloucester play at Bristol, which is a bigger surface area. The wicket is often gripping a little bit, so it suits their bowlers. And I think one thing that you do sort of get when you play sides like Gloucester, they're every single one of their bowlers seems to have a lot more variation than some of our younger bowlers. Something definitely that needs to be looked at some stage, because I think the way that the Sussex bowling attack bowled, the Kent bowling attack bowled, a massive high percentage of off-pace deliveries, but not just slower balls. They were very effective. They seem to have a lot of spin on the ball. Something that maybe the bowling coach here, Steve, needs to have a little look at. Needs some variation here on a good pitch at Taunton.
Taylor's in, hits Green on the pads, scamper through for a leg bye. Yeah, I guess when you look at Somerset's attack, it's quite samey in a way, isn't it? Whereas Gloucester, they've got a couple left-arm seamers. I know Somerset have been using Lammonby in the power play, but we don't often see him come back at the death. You know, I quite like a left-arm seamer to come round the wicket at the back end of a T20 innings, and Somerset just don't seem to have too many change-ups in that department.
Lewis Gregory clips one off of his hip. Nicely saved there by Mohammed Amir by the looks of it, down at short fine leg. Somerset 110 for 5, stuttering. Yeah, I think it can occasionally look a bit samey and one-paced. I think it's been quite clear to see the bowling attacks. You know, I think Somerset got such a powerful batting lineup, but I think they're made to work really hard by some really well thought out plans. Another off-pace delivery from Matt Taylor to close out that innings. And we go down to the fan village now. Rob Scanlon is somewhere in.
Always special to come to your first ever cricket match, and Eva's doing just that with her mum Zoe. But Eva, you were telling me you played here last week. What was that like?
It was really good. I played against Elton and Charlie and we came second.
Brilliant. And you got wickets and got runs?
Yeah.
And you're having a good night?
Yeah.
Good stuff. And supporting Somerset as well, Zoe?
Of course, yeah, definitely. Local town, we're here.
Stuff. Enjoy your night with us.
Thank you very much.
From
Amazing there to see Eva, who played at this ground, I believe, last week. What an amazing experience for a young girl these days. Gregory's got hold of that one. Chappell's into the attack, back into the attack, and greeted with a straight 6 from Lewis there. He's looking in fine touch.
That's a fine sight. to come back to. Lewis Gregory hitting sixes. Remember a couple of years ago, 2018, where he was kind of Somerset's finisher. I think his strike rate was above 200. We know how well he can strike a cricket ball. If he can finish the innings the way he'd want to now for Somerset, they might just get a competitive total.
Fingers crossed, Sam. Hopefully it's a good omen that you've walked in and they've struck a maximum first ball.
It rarely is when I walk in, Sophie.
Chappell's in and Lewis thrashes this one through the offside. Out to the point boundary. Somerset gaining a little bit of momentum here. Much needed momentum, I might add though.
Just puts the fielders back under pressure a little bit, isn't it? Bowler and skipper. Jack Taylor having a chat, trying to think of something a little bit different to do because 10 off the over already.
Bit of a tight run there to point. I think it was Smith, left-handed Smith, just bounced nicely to him there, and Green just got in, I think. But
yeah, you see left-handers at backward point quite a lot. Have you got one in the Western Storm side that you stick there?
we don't actually, but that's because we've got Fran Wilson, who's one of the best fielders in the women's game, to be honest. Green just works this into the leg side for a single. Yeah, point's always an interesting fielding position as well. There's not many, they won't like me saying this, but there's not many of the Storm girls that stick their hand up and say, don't worry, Luffy, I'll field at point. They try to avoid it if they can. So, yeah, having Fran back in the West Country has relieved some of the other girls. They don't have to find themselves at backward point too often. Chappell's in. Full down the leg side. Going to pick up a couple of extras here. Bracey missed that one.
Judging by the crowd's reaction, you'd think there was an easy two there. I'm not sure there was. I think it was quite a good call from Bangry.
Yeah, every little helps though, especially in this Somerset innings. 124 for 5. 4.2 overs to go. Tall figure of Chappell's in. Playing a miss there by Green.
We've seen many of those, haven't we, in this innings? They've been exceptional, Gloucestershire. Mohammed Amir's still got 2 overs left. Remember, he started, if you're just joining us. 2 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 2. Mohammed Amir has started with a wicket maiden. I mean, there's no doubt whatsoever he's going to bowl 2 more, so it's about who he goes to. Ryan Higgins would often be a deaf bowler, but he's bowled 1 over for 19.
Yeah, Amir's definitely going to be the option at the back end here, isn't he? Green hits that out to wide, long on. Good bit of fielding out there. Pretty tight to the rope. The Somerset fans are trying to cheer that it was 4, but I think it was a tiny bit of work there. There might be Miles Hammond out there. He usually finds himself on the boundary for Gloucestershire. Very good fielder.
I reckon it's going to be Benny Howe here, because Bracey is called for the helmet, which means he's going to come up to the stumps. Is that Howe?
That is Howe, yeah.
There it is, Benny Howe. So he's got 1 over left. He's bowled superbly too, as he always does. I really enjoyed Peter Trigo's masterclass from his position. I mean, I'm sat in the same seat. I can't quite offer as much, apart from that I do know how much variety Benny Howe has got. He is definitely a cricket badger. I'd agree with that. I've spoken to him a couple of times.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to execute a few of those deliveries. Real skill, you know, must be amazing how much time he spends practicing those.
Bracey up to the stumps. Oh, fuller one, but it was a slower one. And Howe's got head in his hand. Not quite sure how it missed everything. Yeah, imagine being able to just flick one out with the, like, you think, like, I can barely, actually bowling home, I suppose you're meant to, and I can barely get it down the other end. He just flicks one out to bowl with that control.
I guess that's the beauty of T20 these days. You know, a lot of people talk about it being a batter's game. The bowlers have had to come up with these new skills, and Howell, you'd probably say, is leading the way in that department with all those tricks.
Batted straight back at him. That was hit viciously by Lewis Gregory. Great bit of work in front of us by Miles Hammond. It's a short boundary, diving away. It was dead straight. Howell put his hands up as if to catch it. He also had to take a bit of evasive action. That could have been nasty. Let's see that replay again. Bang, Howell. Straight at him. The good thing he ducked his head. Brilliant to see Miles Hammond diving to his right. Bit of relay fielding with Miles. No, with Ian Cobain. It's Miles Hammond.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
This time, Ian Cobain will have his work cut out to stop 2. He's not able to. Good bit of running there between Green and Gregory, and they need every run they can get, and they Somerset.
Yeah, they do. Great bit of running there. I know the Taunton crowd love a 2 here. And I guess when you're coming up against an operator like Howell, just trying to knock it into the edge of the inner circle there and scamper 2, you know, keeps that scoreboard moving without trying to take too many risks and go for 4s and 6s.
Cut away to point, where it's the tall figure of Zach Chappell. We talked about quick bowlers being at back point. There he is, Zach Chappell doing the work.
Yeah, right on cue. Looks like he could do with some longer trousers, but I expect he needs some fairly long ones because he's a tall man, isn't he? He's a big guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's got serious pace about him. I wouldn't fancy standing at the other end. I wouldn't fancy standing at the other end to Benny Howell either. Slower one. Green looked like he was about to line up the big leg side swipe. Decided against it. Picks up a single, and Howell does the fielding off his own bowling. He told the cricketer once, Benny Howell, that he's got 50 variations. 50?
Spend all week having to practice all them, wouldn't you? No wonder he's in the nets all the time. He's got 50 to practice.
It's like 2 games worth of 4 over spells, and he wouldn't bowl the same ball twice.
Yeah, very true. I do follow him on social media actually, and I think he's got a young son, and he's always playing cricket with him. And saw a clip this week actually, and his son absolutely whacked one off him. It was a great shot. So yeah, I reckon if his son keeps whacking them off him, he might be practicing his variations at him.
Whacked, short, just dropped a back of a length. Lewis Gregory rocked backwards, hits it out towards the Andy Carrick Pavilion. 6 to finish the over, 50 quid from November, UK. Was that similar to the shot you saw Benny Howell's son play against him?
Yeah, similar, but he's a left-hander batter, his son, I think. Yeah, maybe I would put it past. I don't know Benny Howell, okay, but I wouldn't put it past him that he's got a young son and he'd be getting him to practice left and right-handed.
When I completely agree with you. When he's 10 or 11, he's going to start playing adult cricket, and you're just going to get variation after variation after variation. 4 overs to go there. 3 overs to go as well, so 2 mistakes from me. Brilliant stuff. 17 overs gone, 138 for 5 Somerset. Thanks very much to Bond Timber, who are our match sponsor today. Brilliant to have them. They were up having a look round the commentary box a little bit earlier on, so thank you to Bond Timber.
Mohammed Amir back into the attack then. We called this, that he would bowl the last 2 overs from that end. And Green saying, I don't care whether you've bowled 2 overs for 2 runs and picked up a wicket. And it was a wicket maiden that he bowled earlier in the day as well. Green has greeted him with a lovely straight 6 there.
Yeah, brilliant shot. That ruins his figures a little bit. Umpire's going to have a look at the ball just to check it's all right. I think it bounced onto the concrete. I don't think Ben Green would have faced Mohammed Amir. He played for Essex a couple of years ago. I don't think Ben Green was playing T20 cricket for Somerset. Not a bad way to line him up, first ball.
Yeah, great option. Amir's in again then. Green doesn't get hold of this one. They're not going to scamper 2. I think that's probably the right decision there. Gregory sending him back. I think that's Phillips out there that's been patrolling the deep mid-wicket boundary. Really quick across the ground, very good fielder. Gloucester have got some decent fielders actually.
They're a very, very good one-day side. I mean, having lost to Somerset on the first night, they went and beat Sussex. It just showed they never gave up. They were 44 for 4, I think. Way behind the game all the way, still ended up winning. So, very good white ball side.
Short to Gregory, and he's got hold of that. 4 runs off the bat of Gregory. Out towards Gimlet's Hill there.
Yeah, nice looking shot there from Lewis Gregory. Just pivots on it. A couple of fielders down there trying to retrieve the ball. We have got it back, I think. Yeah, we have. But Gregory saw final leg was up. Happy to take that one on, try and beat Benny Howe, and Benny Howe is now going down to final leg. Third comes up. Big gaps on that leg side.
Yeah, absolutely. If you nail it, you're picking up a boundary. If not, then they're going to be up and back for 2, hopefully. Short again, Gregory out to deep square. Next, the tall figure of Zach Chappell out there.
And he's bowling to that field there, isn't he, with that short ball? He knows he's got the protection there this time. Asking Lewis Gregory to take him on. 150 comes up for Somerset. 150 for 5 off 17.4 overs.
Yeah, fine leg coming back into the ring, and looks like mid-off has gone out to Green this time. Green gets hold of that, and that is an unbelievable catch. That's got to be Miles Hammond.
Yeah.
I can't even tell that it is him, but I just know that he is capable of taking catches like that. That is a spectacular effort out there. So we look at the replay.
Unbelievable, one-handed. He had to make, what the replay doesn't show is he had to make 10, 15 yards to his right. You could hear the reaction of the river stand. They were right behind it. Ben Green's got to go. He'll feel unlucky because he struck that pretty well, didn't he? Most other fielders wouldn't be getting anywhere near it.
Yeah, I think if you're Green, you're probably thinking, oh, I've hit the gap there, I've hit it quite well. Like, you're really disappointed. But sometimes you've just got to say, fair play to the opposition, outstanding bit of work, and you know, I've said it numerous times. That is just becoming the norm in this game now, and they work incredibly hard on their fielding, and it pays off in games like this.
Yeah, my first thought was 6 or 4. That's what I was looking for. Brings the man. Swerve, Rudolph van der Merwe to the crease. We know what he did the last time these two sides met. Very different weather conditions for a start. Very different game situation.
Yeah, very much so. It'd be interesting to see if Gloucester have got any different plans to him tonight, albeit very different conditions. Just defends that one, and he's off the mark. Busy as ever. Van der Merwe at the crease. Somerset 151 for 6. 2 overs to go.
So Somerset will put into bat. Pete Trigo said it was a belter of a pitch, and it probably is. 200 was par. From where they are now, Sophie, 170 is very minimum, isn't it, from here?
Yeah, very minimum. They've got to get 20 off the last couple of overs here. I mean, you know, they'll be more wanting 175, 180, to be honest. But yeah, when you don't get the ideal start, you've got to be able to assess and regroup and adjust your target where you want to be.
Matt Taylor then, left arm from both ends, slower ball, smoked down the ground to Miles Hammond, who is doing long on to long on. Here's a replay of Lewis Gregory striking a boundary a little bit earlier on today. Looks like a Benny Howe ball. Yeah, it's that short one from the previous over, just pulled away. Previous over from this end. Bit of a delay here as we get a field change. Short fine legs up, square leg is up. Taylor pulled away towards the Andy Caddick Pavilion. Almost the same shot he played off Benny Howe. This time it went a little bit flatter. Glenn Phillips, who's stationed out in front of the benches, just stood and watched as it sailed over his head. 6 more for Lewis Gregory, who moved to 50 with that shot. 50 off just 29 balls. 2 4s, 4 6s, much needed.
Yeah, class. He's in good touch, isn't he? And he's cashing in.
100 in the county championship game here just a couple of days ago. Takes guard again. Fuller, well dug out, well bowled.
Yeah, that is well bowled by Taylor there. I think he didn't execute on the previous delivery. The field to me is suggesting that they're going to go wide line Yorkers here, even though they've got third up. They've got deep point, deep cover, and then the guy's out straight, square legs up in the ring. So I think he is looking to bowl that sort of wide line to Lewis here.
There it is, as Sophie Luff called it, drilled down the ground. Hammond makes it look easy. It was fizzing towards him, one bounce. Long barrier, good to see the long barrier. I don't see that enough in the pro game.
Yeah, he's still got his place though, 100%. When that ball's hit hard at you.
There we go. Up goes the Thatcher's balloon. It's been loitering behind the Colin Atkinson pavilion all evening. There it is. Maybe that Lewis Gregory 6 did it for them. That was the lift-off they needed. Van der Merwe on strike. Fuller gets his Yorker wrong, and he's been sliced away over backward point for 6. It's a no ball as well, to add insult into injury. So not only is it 6 off the bat, it's another 2 for the no ball. So that ball will go again, and it will be a free hit. That's a bonus.
I love watching this guy bat. How did he get it there?
I was just thinking, Pete Trigo has said it before, you've got no idea where it's going. He's playing that, he's trying to pull it towards the Andy Caddick pavilion. He's got it over point for 6.
I'd love to say, try doing that again, but I reckon he could. I don't think he knows where it's going, but he just hits some wacky areas and unbelievable shot.
Taylor brothers in conversation, trying to work out where to bowl. And what do you think they're saying? Oh, I've got no idea. I've got no idea, mate. Where's he going to try and hit it? Fine legs up, square legs up. Long on, long off. Deep mid-wicket, deep cover.
On here.
It's a wide. So they'll go again. It was a free hit, that ball, because the previous ball was a no ball for overstepping. So there's the signal. So that ball, the ball that hasn't yet been bowled, has already cost them 10 runs.
Yeah, I'm trying to predict what Roloff's going to do here based on the field, but if I know Roloff, I don't think he'll know until the ball's actually coming at him.
He's going to swing hard, I reckon. He does. Well bowled. That delivery, Matt Taylor will be quite pleased to be finally through that ball. Cost him 10 runs, even though it was a dot.
Yeah, Somerset have got themselves to 167 with 7 balls to go. They'll be looking at 180 now.
We talked in previous games about momentum at the end of the first innings. Somerset have had it go against them a couple of times in recent weeks. Sussex here, I remember. Kent last week. Van der Merwe, momentum behind that ball. It's straight. It's into the lower tier of the Marcus Trescothick Pavilion. 6 more from the over. 50 quid to charity. Rudolph Van der Merwe, he enjoys playing against these Gloucestershire boys.
Oh, he loves batting, especially against Gloucester. So good to watch, isn't it? And yeah, like we said, Somerset getting momentum at the back end of their innings. I feel a bit sorry for Taylor there. I'm not sure whether he has played any T20 cricket for Gloucestershire this year, but you know, being asked to bowl the 19th over, tough ask. And yeah, Somerset, if they can get 10, 12 off this over, takes them to 180, 185, and from where they were, they'll probably be quite happy with that.
Yeah, what was that, 22 off the over? Maybe one more with the wide? Has the wide gone in the scoreboard? Brilliant stuff. Bit of momentum for Somerset. Can they finish it off?
Lewis can't get that one away. Just a single there. But it brings the man of the moment onto strike.
14 off just 5 balls. It's saying something when the non-strikers end with 51 off 31 is not the man at the moment, but all eyes are on Rudolph Van der Merwe here.
I'd love to know what's going through his head.
I don't know if I would, actually. Be frantic.
Carves this one into the leg side. Will only be 1. Chappell out there doing the fielding. Somerset got 4 balls here. A couple of boundaries, a couple of maximums would be good to see.
4 balls remaining, but stay with us during the interval. Lots of fun. We've got a very special presentation going on. We've got How's That Trade Nation.
Mears in again. A rare dot ball at the back end of the innings. Gregory can't lay a bat on that one.
Really good from Mohammed Amir. Just 2 off 3 balls in the final over of the innings, and suddenly momentum switches. 23 off the previous over. Just 1 for the wide, 2 for the no ball. 3 sixes in that over.
Gregory goes, and he goes big. Away into the Somerset stand, and just the sound off the bat, he's striking it beautifully.
Yeah, he made that look easy. I mean, when someone almost pulls off the front foot, you think, wow, they must be in good touch. Bang, front foot.
Just looking at that replay, Lewis is so still when he strikes the ball, and you know, if any young cricketer is watching, you know, head position and keeping your head still, give you the best chance of, you know, making great contact with the ball as Lewis did there. Not as still on that occasion, and play and miss. Somerset just struggled to, yeah, maximise this last over. There's 1 ball to go. They are at 182 though, Sam, so they have climbed to 180.
And it just shows it is a good pitch. 4 for 1 after 3 overs. So they scored 178.
Yeah, you like to think the Somerset bowlers have watched how Gloucestershire have gone about things, and you know, will take some of that into their innings, using changes of pace, variations. Amir's in. Lewis hits that straight down the ground. Doesn't get all of it. Hammond comes round, does the fielding. They settle for 2. And that's the end of the Somerset innings. They finish 184 for 6. As Van der Merwe sprinting off the pitch. He's got a job to do with the ball, as has Gregory, who finishes 60 not out. Great innings there by Lewis.
Yeah, super not by Lewis Gregory. 60 unbeaten off 36 balls for him. Riley Rousseau too, 54 off 35 balls, 2 for 25. Mohammed Amir finished off his 4 overs, 2 for 31 from Benny Howe. Superb stuff from Gloucestershire. Jack Taylor having won the toss and elected to bowl first. And I think Gloucestershire will be pretty happy with that, so.
Yeah, I think they'll be very happy. I think we talked about par of 200, keeping that below.
There's the presentation going on by the side of the pitch. Somerset's leading T20 wicket taker, 139 wickets for him in T20, more than Alfonso Thomas. What a bowler he's been.
Great to see Max there. So like we said, Somerset probably under par, 184 for 6 off their 20 overs, and Gloucester will be confident that they can come out and chase that. Somerset will have other ideas.
I know how important teammates are.
I'm on hand 24 hours a day.
I'm someone people can rely on.
And I've always got time for a cuppa.
I like helping solve problems.
And I know that if something's hard, it's usually worth doing.
Because
at the end of the day, I'm here for my mates.
There we go. Brilliant to have Tom Abel and Henry Slade there. And the message is loud and clear. Check in on your mates, right? You saw a little bit of the apple rolling that's going to go on the pitch up here in the commentary box. Peter Ego's been relegated because I heard that you were trying to hit me with that behind my back the other week, so I threw a bit of a fit. We've got How's That Trade Nation. Yeah, you know the rules by now. Number of people have entered. We picked some names at random. Sophie Luff is going to spin this gloriously multicoloured wheel in just a moment. The winner, remember, I'm going to give them a call. They have to say, how's that Trade Nation straight away. If not, we have to move on. We tried 4 people last week and they did not. But one way or another, they didn't get it right. One person had their phone turned off and they win a free night stay for 2 people at the Carbis Bay Hotel in St Ives. That's off-peak, but still, what a wonderful prize, courtesy of Trade Nation. Right, Sophie, are you ready? Your moment's up. Give it a big old spin. Let's see where we land. Jilly, right, I'm going to give Jilly a call right now. Let's see if she's waiting for the call. Jilly, hello. Congratulations. How's that Trade Nation back at you? Congratulations, you're a winner. Hello? Hello, Jilly. Hello, you said how's that Trade Nation? It's Sam here from the Somerset stream.
Oh, right, sorry.
That's all right. You're a winner, Jilly. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. You won a free night stay for 2 people at the Carbis Hotel in St Ives. How about that?
Oh, my goodness, have I?
You have indeed, eh? That's a bonus on a Friday night.
That is absolutely fantastic, thank you.
You're very welcome. Are you watching the live stream tonight? Are you following the boys, or are you...
I'm here.
You're here, are you? Where are you sat?
I'm sat in Marcus just got a bit lower.
Oh, you're just below us then. I'm up above you. I'm sending the... Oh, there we go. We'll see if we can find you. What do you reckon to that, eh? A little bit under par?
Sorry, I didn't hear that then.
What do you reckon to the score, Jilly? Somerset going to defend that?
Well, I was a little bit worried to start with, but I don't know. We looked at the other scores as well, Middlesex and that, and they're a bit low. So I've got a feeling if we bowl really well, we can do it tonight.
Well, I'm with you on that. Who's going to take the wickets, Jilly?
Who's going to take the wickets? I reckon Roloff might have a go. He's bowling.
Roloff, yeah, he was all right with the bat there. He loves playing against Gloucestershire as well, doesn't he?
That's right, he likes playing against them, yeah.
Oh, well, fingers crossed. Well, Jilly, either way, you're a winner, but let's hope Somerset are winners too. Thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jilly. Thank you. You're welcome. There we go. Jilly is a winner. It goes seamlessly when Sophie Luff comes into the commentary box. How about that? What a prize. She has won a free night stay for 2 people at the Carbis Hotel down in St Ives. I'm very, very jealous of that. Right, after all that fun, all that excitement, I don't know how Jilly's going to concentrate on the cricket. We're certainly going to concentrate on the cricket. Pete Trigo is going to come in alongside me. Thoughts on that?
Well, that episode of How's That Trade Nation went a little better, Sam. I'm not being funny. Preparation, mate, was phenomenal. To have everyone pre-typed into your phone, that's professionalism.
I know. And
right
you know what I did? Because I was about to start doing it, and I thought if I put first names, I'm going to have to scroll through. So they all started with Trade Nation. So I was there. How about that? This is behind the scenes.
It's different level. It's absolutely different level here in the Somerset County Cricket Club commentary box. Obviously, you're bringing the professionalism. I'm bringing the stupidity. But I did actually think that conversation was going so well. You can ask her out for a date at one stage.
Oh, you know, I was sad to hang up and bring you back, Peter, but then I saw you. I was scared. I saw you pick up the Trade Nation wheel again.
I'm only teasing. I'm just jealous that on our particular night you weren't as prepared as you were with Sophie as your stooge.
Our time will come again.
No, not
Peter.
stooge.
No.
Assistant. She was like your Debbie McGee, wasn't he? If you were Paul Daniels. That was impressive stuff. You do.
The magician. I'm young.
God, am I that old?
No, not at all, Peter. Cricket. What's going to go on
Do you know
here?
what? I thought that was a really good finish. It was a phenomenal finish, actually. I think Lewis, Gregory, as me and Sophie discussed, runs are runs, different format. The disappointment of the championship, end result. I thought Lewis played a magnificent knock. That 100 was fantastic for those who were here to watch it or watching the live stream. But he's taken that form into tonight. A brilliant 60 off 36. This certainly, I think it's put Somerset on par. I really do. I think that when you lose a number of wickets to slower balls, I think it does suggest that there's a little bit of grip, a little bit of hold in the pitch. So there's something for the bowlers to work with. And I'm sure sometimes, when you've seen a bowling attack have success bowling a certain way, you emulate it. So I'd be amazed if we don't see a slightly higher percentage of off-pace deliveries from our seamers. Getting through this power play, I think, is going to be pretty crucial, though. If we can have a similar natured power play to how Gloucester did in terms of taking wickets and keeping the run rate below 10, sort of around the 8 mark, sets up for a fascinating game. The run rate, 9.3 runs and over, which at Taunton is massive, but you still got to get them.
Yeah, you really do it. So 4 changes tonight with no Craig Overton and Josh Davey missing out, having suffered concussion. Do they change what they've been doing? I mean, Tom Lammonby takes the first over. He has done in every game so far this season. Argument for giving it to someone else? Maybe a surprise over from Rudolph van der Merwe or Peter Siddle?
Well, it looks like Siddle has taken the hat off. Yeah, he definitely has. The frosted tips of Peter Siddle, for those who don't know what a frosted tip is, bleached blonde hair. Very, very much, definitely Peter Siddle taking the first over. And I like that. Experience. We've also seen a number of times when he has played in 2020 cricket on really flat pitches, his economy rates are always the best. He's just got that, he's got that sixth sense of what a batsman's trying to do, and he's got that ability, skill, execution to bowl in the areas, to tie the batter up, take the hands away. So I like this move, I really do.
Yeah, and people say, you look at his, people say he hasn't played that much T20, but actually it's because he was in the Test side. In the last 3 years, 68 big bash wickets, Peter Siddle.
But then again, you can also have your most experienced bowler that can take the hands away of the batter, disappear for 6 first ball. Oh, wait, it actually happened.
Inauspicious start there from Peter Siddle. Great shot from Miles Hammond. I mean, he'd have enjoyed that catch down at long on. That would have buoyed him with a little bit of confidence. Left-hander. Brilliant.
Not the greatest start there for Peter Siddle and Somerset, but I think it's how he comes back now, his experience. Miles Hammond's obviously sweating on that short ball as he pulls another back of a length delivery out to deep square leg. Will Smead running round and doing the fielding. James Bracey at the other end, just about to take strike for the first ball of his innings. A little bit of a flyer here, but very, very early days.
Yeah, I love watching James Bracey play. Big Bristol Rovers fan, isn't he? But super, super cricketer. I mean, I think his time will come again with England. Completely different format, but a proper, proper cricketer.
Poor delivery from Peter Siddle, wide outside off stump and cut away by James Bracey. Both the Gloucester openers have got off to a bit of a flyer. Really up to Peter Siddle now to use his experience to clutch back this over. Already gone for 11 off his first 3 balls. Not the start Somerset wanted. Really need him to up his game as quickly as possible. Siddle into bowl from the Trescothick stand end. Back of a length, James Bracey. Bunts that into the leg side to Rudolph van der Merwe for no run. So already starting to tie the batter up. Found his length. Those first couple of balls. 1 too short and 1 too wide. Punished. Yeah, the Bracey lads certainly very good players. His brother Sam, I think, is a fantastic player as well. Plays for Winterbourne. I've played a number of games against him in club cricket, and I'll tell you what, I'm surprised Gloucester haven't offered him a deal as well. Stunning player, as his brother James hits a strong shot down the ground to Lewis Goldsworthy.
Yeah, they don't really have to take any risks here. And I know it's 9 and over, and that sounds like a lot, but on this ground, with the ball coming on, they can just bat, I say sensibly, in relative T20 terms, knowing what their target is.
I think it's massive. It's about partnerships. If you get 2 batters in that can hit the angles, time the ball well, it's so hard to defend here at Taunton. If you don't take wickets, it is a 200 pitch without doubt. If Somerset are going to stand any chance of defending this, they must take wickets. There's no question. It's never going to be a run rate issue. You've got to take wickets. You've got to pressurise the lesser sort of dominant batters in a lineup. Because let's face it, in T20, most games your top 6 are going to do the majority of batting. And that's why sometimes you could be a number 7, 8, a quality player, someone with 10 first-class hundreds under your belt. You might only bat 3 times in a season for a good team.
Rudolph van der Merwe often does that. Not bowling, sorry, but in terms of your point.
A fine player, but he might only bat, 2 or 3 times in a series of 10 games. So we've got to take wickets. We've got to strike, and there's no better man to do that job than the headband warrior. Jack Brooks coming in to bowl from the river end. Come on, Brooksy. Good length delivery there, squirted away into point. Ben Green does the fielding there at point. James Bracey just carves that a little bit on the outside edge.
It's early wickets, isn't it? You want a couple in the power play, really, to not let... Because if you haven't taken a wicket in the power play, by default, they're going to be 45, 50 minimum, and then you're really staring down the barrel.
Oh, at least if you don't take wickets in the power play here at Taunton, you're going to be staring down the barrel of I would say more like 60, 70.
Yeah.
So really vital. But Brooksy looks like he's found a good hard length there straight away. Good to see him back in the team, getting an opportunity.
Yeah, came into the side last year. Hadn't played any T20 cricket since 2018, but came in first couple of games last season to cover for Craig Overton and Josh Davey, really, and he bowled so well he kept his place in the side.
As Bracey goes for an elaborate ramp, somehow goes between batter and off stump. How that's not bowled him? Well, I do know it wasn't straight, but very, very close to cleaning him up there. Before some smart Alec messaged me saying it wasn't straight, Peter.
Bracey then's got 5. Hammond at the other end has got 7. Gloucestershire, 173 to win. Make that 167. Just wasn't quite sure if he got all of it. Lovely looking shot. Just a proper cricket shot. A push down the ground, James Bracey, for the first 6 of Gloucestershire's innings.
An ideal start here. Very destructive couple of batters. Again, we need wickets. We do need some wickets. Oh, wow. That looks from up here like it's gone through the stumps, just over the top of the off bail. Bracey giving himself a bit of room. Just missing the stumps there. That was so close to Somerset's first wicket, and they certainly need one of those.
Deep square leg out. Third is down on the boundary. It's Riley Rousseau. He made 54 a bit earlier. No, he's going to come up. Changing the field. Lewis Gregory goes out at long on. So fine leg and third are both up in the ring.
Looks like there's been an unbelievable game or innings of T20 cricket played up the road at Trent Bridge. Birmingham Bears have got 261 runs. Sam Hain 112 off 52 balls, and Adam Hose, former Somerset player, 88 off 35. That must be some kind of decent batting pitch.
Wow, even with Alex Hales in, that is going to be a big ask. 19 without loss of 2 overs. I mean, if Sam Hain doesn't play for England now, I know they've just made nearly 500, but he's got 3 championship hundreds, including a double 100 in the last couple of weeks. The fact that he can't get into an England side says an awful lot about the strength and depth.
Yeah, it's it must be very frustrating. I mean, all the phone was going off earlier about the records that were being broken in that England game, and you see that lineup. I mean, it was just sensational hitting.
Lewis Gregory into the attack, and a play and a miss from James Bracey. So, skipper Tom Abel at cover. Lewis Goldsworthy mid-on, Riley Rousseau mid-off. Lammonby at mid-wicket. Opens the face there. Gregory doesn't get it past Peter Siddle at third, but does pick up a single. So remember, no Josh Davey, no Craig Overton tonight for Somerset. Tom Lammonby hasn't opened the bowling, so for the first time in this season it's been a completely different power play. And it's not quite gone Somerset's way just yet.
Do you know what, Sam? This is what I really want to see. Lewis Gregory's such an influential player here. The way he's batted, in the championship game and tonight. And I love it when he takes responsibility with the ball. He's such a key performer. He's got that decent amount of pace that when he does bowl his off-cutters, they are, oh my Lord, every time I big someone up, they disappear out the park. What's going on? Lewis Gregory's dragged down into the thigh of Miles Hammond, and he has dispatched that deep into the Somerset stand.
That was the off-cutter you were talking about. And he just dragged it short, didn't he? Didn't quite get it right. Stand and deliver for Miles Hammond. Makes it easy. That's not a short hit out there. Longer side of the ground.
I still stand by it. Lewis Gregory is an influential player here. What's his response going to be? Into Miles Hammond again, who's just belted him a beautiful cover drive, but well fielded there at mid-off by Lewis Goldsworthy. You're going to get hit. It's the nature of the beast in T20 cricket. It's how you come back.
So 3 overs left of the power play after this one. 2 balls remaining in this, the third over. Does Somerset try a little bit of spin in the power play? They've got Van der Merwe, they've got Lewis Goldsworthy. We've seen how well pace-off worked for Gloucestershire at times during that innings.
Yeah, I always feel like towards the back end of a power play, if you haven't taken wickets, it is a gamble. Because I think, not that you ever want to lose wickets, but I think there'd be such a mentality of budgeting an amount of wickets that you're willing to lose in a power play to maximise the scoring rate. It's such a key time, 2 fielders out. You need to make sure that you make the most of that opportunity. So you probably happily budget 1-2 wickets in that power play. So if they're none down, a spinner's going to have a torrid time. I mean, yes, you might get a wicket, but the batters are going to be flying at you. You're going to be under a lot of pressure.
Flicked into the leg side for a single. 3 overs gone. Remember, at this stage, about an hour and a half ago, Somerset were 4 for 1. Well, Gloucestershire are 29 without loss.
Right, at the end of this over, we've got a little game tonight. Tree goes trivia. I don't know. Well, someone's come up with that. Ben Green recently took a T20 5-wicket haul, claiming 5 for 29 against Glamorgan to become the 7th bowler for Somerset to take 5 wickets in this format. Can you name the other 6? If you want to type into the social media page.
Hashtag Trigo Trivia.
Hashtag Trigo Trivia. Oh, just imagine, let's get that trending. Wouldn't that be something?
Just forever, not just on blast night, just forever.
Who are the other 6 bowlers to take a 5 for in T20 cricket?
Are you one of them?
I am not one of them.
Jack Brooks into Miles Hammond.
That is the only clue I will give, as Miles Hammond is a very, very classical cover drive. That would have looked good midweek in a white clothing red ball match. A beautiful textbook cover drive. Jack Brooks, 2 full, 2 wide. That's an absolute gift here at Taunton.
Yeah, lovely shot. Somerset really under pressure here. Brooks, but this time it's gone up. He tried to pull. Tom Banton pushes Peterson away and takes the catch. There it is. We talked about Somerset needing wickets, not as early as they would have liked. Miles Hammond, having just played a glorious drive through the covers, has tried to pull a Jack Brooks delivery and just gone up, 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 and Tom Banton safely takes the catch.
Great response from Jack Brooks, sticking to his plan, which is to bowl hard length. Tom Banton under a steepling catch. That was up there for an eternity, but with those great big frying pans on, you've got to take that catch, and he certainly did that. He threw the ball down in a bit of frustration, probably building up from the way that his batting season has gone so far in the blast so far, but brilliant breakthrough there. Gloucester 33 for 1. It was looking quite ominous at one stage, but that certainly brings us back into the game as Ian Cobain strides to the wicket. The dangerous Ian Cobain. Very handy to dislodge him as quickly as possible.
No one has more T20 runs for Gloucestershire than Ian Cobain. Serious performer. Well over 150 games in his career now. Average of 32, strike rate 131. Played Big Bash cricket. Started to play a bit of franchise stuff. Was only over there playing club cricket.
Well, bowled Brooksy. Good length. Got to tie this man down. Bowl inside the stumps, get the length right. Put him under a bit of pressure. You want to get on with it. I've had my first moan of the night. Steve Kirby sending me a message. He's at home not feeling so well at the moment. Curbs, you are missed. We love you here. We love watching you try and catch those balls with that baseball mitt and seeing your shins and your elbow. Everything but the mitt. Get contact with the ball. Look forward to watching you next week trying to stop the balls, big lad. And while you're off, Steve, instead of standing there with a mitt, you might as well just put a cardboard cutout of yourself behind the stumps. That'd stop more balls. Give that a try. Go down a Vista print.
Tell me a wonderful story. Young leg spinner up at Leicestershire, England, under 19s, called Rayan Ahmed, who went down and played at the MCC Young Cricket. So he went down to bowl at England, and Curbs was saying he got him in the indoor school, and Ahmed's got wrong uns. He just basically turning it, and Curbs couldn't get near it. It just made me laugh. Him probably on a heap, in a heap on the floor, not being able to pick this 14-year-old spinner.
Yeah, you can't catch what you can't see, I suppose.
Pulled away by Bracey, who picks up a single.
Do you know what, though? He would do it to the maximum of intensity.
Does his commentary to the maximum intensity. He's right down here.
Fierce, isn't he? He's a fierce man.
Amazing to have him back at Somerset, though. Brilliant servant to the club and to Gloucestershire as a player.
Yeah.
But brilliant to have him
We
back.
should have had him up, really, impartial, wouldn't he? He'd have sat on the fence.
There's a wide there. Don't forget, you still got time. Hashtag streaming style. If you want to win a Somerset Vitality Blast shirt, you've still got time. We want to see pictures of where you're watching the game. It can be in the ground, it can be at home, it could be at work. We won't tell your boss, we promise.
I might have missed something here with the old streaming in style, but does it have to feature an animal? Because
No,
every
it
ones
doesn't.
we get seems to have cats and dogs and all sorts of... Is that a thing?
No, it's not a
Or
thing.
streaming in style can be just...
Right, Rob is down in the fan village somewhere. Let's go and see him.
A great day with us here at Taunton. Big thanks to our sponsors, Trade Nation. Trade Nation stand absolutely packed out. Give us a stand and a wave if you see yourself on the big screen. There we go. No rude gestures, please.
There we go. My old man's in there today.
Hey, I was going to say, my two sons are in there. Make sure they're behaving themselves. Dexter and Davis having an evening out with Dad. Watching some proper cricketers for once. Ben Green into the attack here. Somerset's latest 5-wicket Haulian. Is that even a word?
Definitely a word.
He flicks that out to the deep square boundary. Oh. Who's that out there? Steaming in, trying to affect that catch. I think it's Will Smead out there. Made a great effort, just bouncing short. Bracey on to 15. Cobain on 1. Ben Green, I think, is a really good exponent of a wicket with a bit of grip in it, so we'll see a lot of off-pace deliveries from him. Hopefully I'm not lining up another ball dispatched out of the ground.
Work to do here then, Somerset. Only got Gloucestershire 1 down, but they've got the ability to do it. Inside edge.
Yeah, Gloucester they're on par with where they want to be, but you want to be ahead of it in the power play. I'm convinced of that, especially with Rolf. They'll be aware of someone like Rolf. It's very hard to get away on his night. They won't want to let this run rate creep above 10. That's for sure. I don't think it's as sort of skidding on as normal. Maybe the temperature of the last couple of days has just dried the wicket out a little bit. It looked absolutely pristine when I was out there, so I stand by my evaluation of the wicket. But
that's surprising.
It's had It's very unusual in England to have consecutive days of such high temperatures, so maybe that has just crisped it up a little bit. It's like a US Open wicket. Ben Green running to bowl here. Hard length, straight, accurate, very well bowled from Ben Green. Lewis Goldsworthy doing the fielding there at mid-wicket. An absolute whippet in the field, Lewis Goldsworthy.
So we've got Goldsworthy and Van der Merwe to take pace off. Do you think if Lamamy doesn't bowl first up, do you think that means he doesn't bowl at all? Or could he still come into it with his left arm bit, that point of difference? Chipped. Oh, just over Lewis Gregory. The crowd were interested for a while, so was Lewis Gregory.
Very well timed by James Bracey. High on the bat, but he got enough of it to get it over Lewis Gregory, and it raced away across this hard, fast, baked out outfield here at the Cooper Associates county ground. I would like to think, Sam, that the team isn't that set in its ways.
Yeah.
You know, if we need a wicket, a left armour does give you that point of difference. You know, you look at how Mohamed Amir bowled. You know, that change of angle can, and Matt Taylor as well. You know, there were a couple of overs in his spell where he really tied the Somerset batters down. So yeah, you'd hope they weren't that set in the ways. As we see the Gloucester scorecard, Miles Hammond out for 19. Flyer though, James Bracey looking pretty solid for his 21. Ian Cobain, the dangerous Ian Cobain, just having a little look, 3 off his first 5 balls. Streaming in style, we never got to the bottom of that. I was kind of wondering if streaming in style was all about cats and dogs in front of laptops, but it doesn't seem to be that. You see some great pictures up here on the screen of nice food and beverages in front of the laptops and the TVs. It's amazing really to think that you can tune in from anywhere in the world and watch Somerset County Cricket Club. It really is a fantastic service that Ben Warren and the team are producing for our fans all over the world. Hi Soph.
Hi Triggs.
Honours even here at the moment, I think, is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Get another wicket here. It's not far away at all.
Tell you what, they've shrunk the stumps, haven't they, at half-time? There's been a couple of absolutely shaved. The pinky, whatever coloured. Oh, it's unbelievable. It looks like it's gone through from up here, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Siddle obviously back into the attack.
Yeah, Peter Siddle's spell didn't start great, did it? It must be that must be some experience, that going for 6 first ball. That certainly puts you under a bit of pressure, but Peter Siddle's seen it all, done it all, and he always responds. A couple of dot balls here to start his over. Really good start. He went for a few runs in his first over, but he's already starting to clutch it back. That run rate is creeping ever nearer to 10. It started at 9.3, so the Somerset bowlers are doing a great job. What do you think about a bit of hold in the wicket? There must be something in that. There does seem to be a difficulty in timing the ball, but not that time, as James Bracey squirts it through backward point. A full wide delivery, a poor delivery, you've got to say, from Peter Siddle there. Brings another boundary to the Gloucester total.
Yeah, I think there is something in that. It obviously looks like an absolute belter. What you were saying about the heat over the last couple of days, whether that has just affected conditions. But yeah, usually you know what you're going to get here at Taunton, and it does seem to be something in it for the bowlers if they execute right.
What is it with England? It's never the right temperature, is it? I moan for, well, obviously 70% of the year that it's too cold and it's too wet. The last 2 days, God, tell you what, it's a bit hot for me. Never happy, are we? Never happy.
No, I'd hate to be a groundsman, actually. You know, when it's like this, you're probably praying for some rain, and yeah, I wouldn't want to be them on a rainy day, though, having to bring the covers on and off all the time. Oh, I can think of better things to be doing.
Well, you look at it now, if the camera pans down to the pitch across, it's all starting to brown up, isn't it? All those wicket ends look rock solid. I mean, I just think about the times that I've spent fielding on this outfield, and every time the captain puts you near a wicket end, you're thinking, if I have to dive, I'm losing flesh. You see those wicket ends there, I promise you, to those listeners that haven't played the game or on a county ground where the wickets are, that is rocks, that is like sliding on a car park.
Yeah, if you're at extra cover mid-wicket, that's usually where you find yourself on a wicket end. Don't know if you've spotted Tom Abel, but always donning the tubey grip, trying to protect his forearms from any grazes. You don't want one of those at the start of the season.
Oh, if you get one, you just keep knocking the scab off, don't you, for the next 6 months. Every time you go to sleep, you end up stuck to your bed sheets, stingy showers. Oh, it's the worst. I don't miss that at all. Roelof van der Merwe into the attack, the wily Roelof van der Merwe. Now, if the phrase "every ball is an event" was written about someone, it is Roelof van der Merwe. An innocuous delivery, punched down the ground for one, and he's gesticulating, big oohs and ahs. He's a born entertainer, this man. Can he entertain the Somerset crowd tonight? We certainly need a wicket pretty soon. As he drags down, flicked out to the deep square boundary, they'll pick up an easy 2 there. Lewis Goldsworthy is quick across the ground, but he can't stop 2 there.
He just loves being involved, doesn't he? You know, he's a guy that just wants to make an impact on the game, you know, as do a lot of players, but the passion that this guy's got is unbelievable.
He certainly does, and he very rarely disappoints the Somerset crowd here. Certainly one of the loved players here, Roelof van der Merwe. I'm sure he was watching his countrymen earlier get absolutely battered by England. Phil Salt, Darwin Milan, Joss Butler, Liam Livingstone, absolutely taking the Dutch to task this afternoon. Did you watch any of that, so?
I did watch a bit of it, actually. Yeah, I watched Joss and Livingstone especially go to town. It's remarkable hitting, saying Livingstone just swings so hard at the ball.
Doesn't he just? That over from the leg spinner, I forget his name. Bracy pulls hard out to Lewis Goldsworthy, and he does really well to stop that. That was the fielder's worst nightmare. That's landed at pace about a yard in front of him, and fair play to Lewis. He's got his body behind that and saved an almost certain boundary. Yeah, you almost felt sorry for that leg spinner bowling to Livingstone. It just kept on going further and further and further.
He did keep tossing it up, though, to be fair to him.
That was my next comment, but he did oblige with some lovely flight and guile, didn't he? I was like, what are you doing, man? You just bowl seam, wouldn't you? And we go to Rob Scallon here, who's outside one of my favourite shops here at the county ground.
Combination here, Melody and Jane preparing freshly cooked donuts while you wait. Have a look at these. Absolutely irresistible. What do you mean this is just a tactic to get free food?
Yeah, I'll bring a few back with you, will you, Rob? Thank you very much.
Seeing that stand always reminds me of a very favourite quote of the team, my teammates of a certain era. Andy Caddick, legend of a man, what a great bloke. Once came in at lunchtime, really annoyed, and said, "This wicket is as flat as a donut." Still haven't had the explanation of that one, Cad. Maybe you can tell us next time you come in. I'm sure he's listening. Flat as a donut, eh, Cad?
Gregory's in.
Gregory, nice start to his over. Quite a pivotal part of the game now, I think. That run rate, 9.9. A bit of a psychological dent when you can get that into double figures.
Great fielding there by Lammonby.
Superb work by Lammers. The worst case scenario, sliding across that rough, barren land at mid-wicket. Excellent work, Lammers.
So he's just checking his elbows there.
Lammers,
you know.
one of the fan favourites. He looks like he should be like surfing in California or something, does Lammers. What a handsome lad he is. Lewis Gregory running into bowl. Not running into bowl. Decides against it. Abort takeoff. Back to taxi to the back of the runner.
Yeah, I think it was Peter Siddle at a short fine. Just wasn't quite fine enough for Lewis there and caught his eye as he was running in. Made the change.
Angles are important as James Bracey goes big, but he's clothed it. Ben Green under it, and he's taken the catch. Fantastic bit of work there in the deep. Was it Ben Green or was that Riley Rousseau? I think it might be Riley Rousseau. Brilliant catch, and that's a massive wicket. Just as we're creeping up to 10 runs and over, Riley Rousseau takes a brilliant catch there. 10 runs and over, and Gloucester have lost one of their main men. Game on here at the Cooper Associates County Ground.
Yeah, absolutely. A big wicket there for Somerset. Bracey was looking in good touch. Probably the first one he's mishit all night. And yeah, the Somerset players really enjoyed that. Abel gave Gregory a massive hug there. They know how important that wicket is, and they look really up for this, Somerset. They know that they've got runs on the board. That run rate is creeping up each delivery at the minute. But they've got a danger man in Phillips walking to the crease now.
Yeah, Glenn Phillips coming in, made a big impact in his short time here so far at Gloucestershire. What would you call that? Plinked? Clothed?
Yeah,
have you got
interesting.
Have you got a special word that you use for a poorly timed shot?
Clothed, probably.
Clothed.
Yeah.
Clothed it. He clothed it straight up in the air.
It looked like from this angle he connected with it, but just went up rather than far, didn't it? So
Yep, you've got to get your trajectory right, haven't you, with those 6 shots? Lewis Gregory into bowl to Glenn Phillips for his first ball. Straight on the money. Top of the knee roll. Straight on middle stump, and he's blocked that away. Brilliant over so far from Lewis. I know last time I was championing the qualities of Lewis Gregory, got belted out of the park, but he really is an influential player. Number of games this season, which is really frustrating me. He hasn't bowled his 4 overs, which I find remarkable. I know he's, battles with injury in his back sometimes, but we need Lewis in the action, as he has been tonight. A fantastic 60, and he's backing it up brilliantly with his bowling. Another dot ball. 10.4 runs and over required from Gloucester. That little psychological barrier has been crossed. Can Somerset keep their foot down here?
I'd be surprised if Lewis didn't bowl 4 tonight. He's confident with the bat, and when one skill's going well, that can transfer into your other skill as well. So he'll be keen to make an impact with the ball as well tonight. As he's into the last ball of the 8th over. Phillips works that way off his hip. Smeed does the fielding out there. Come back for 2. Triggs, I think I'm leaving it in your capable hands now. All over to you, I believe.
Cheers, so thank you very much. And the answers coming up for the Trigo Trivia Quiz. The answers are you ready for it? Sapaya, Gregory, Rolf van der Merwe, Jerome Taylor, Jamie Overton, and the one that I think a lot of people would have struggled with, overseas player from a few years ago, Dirk Nanez. As this is probably one of the greatest introductions into the commentary box here at Somerset County Cricket Club. Oh, wow, I don't even know what to say. Turning up with blood orange cider from Thatcher's and some cloudy lemon cider. Wow, welcome.
Need some help.
Welcome and thank you very much. It is thirsty work, as you say. My bad, I didn't put you on air. Say that.
No problem.
Another wicket here for Somerset. Lewis Goldsworthy is struck with his second ball. A great wicket there. The dangerous Glenn Phillips is on his way back. Right on cue here. Not only have we just had the joy of another Somerset wicket, Philip here from Thatcher's has joined me in the commentary box, and he has brought with him 2 rather marvellous cans of Thatcher's. Now I'm a gold man if I do have the tipple. This is a couple of cans I've never seen before.
Well, I thought we need to get you to try something new, to be honest, Pete.
Oh, I've just started my latest fitness kick to try and keep myself in my waistcoats, but you know.
How can you resist on a night like tonight?
As you've been so kind to bring them up, we better give them a try. You do the honours while I talk about the next couple of balls from Lewis Goldsworthy. Philip, I'm sure you're a massive Somerset fan. How are you feeling about the game so far? Are you confident that Somerset can defend this total of 184?
Sure, I think so. I've been a bit busy out there sampling cider, to be honest, so I'm a little bit new to the game, so let's see what's going to happen now.
I have a feeling that there are about 7,000 people that were more than happy to sample the offerings from Thatcher's. I actually have a Thatcher story from back in the day. The farm in Sanford is about 3 miles away from where I used to live, and I used to BMX bike out to Thatcher's, and I actually think that Martin used to work in the shop, or was around at the time, and I can remember he used to be able to get it from a flag and a cider for about £1.50 or something like that.
Yeah, you can still bring your flagon along to Myrtle Farm and we'll fill it up for you. It's something we've done for the last 40, 50 years.
Absolutely fantastic. What an amazing change of, in terms of, that little area. It used to be a little little farm shop, and now all of a sudden all the new buildings, the new machinery in and out is
yeah, but at the end of it,
taking over the world, isn't it?
Well, we're doing well, but we're still just ultimately a Somerset business, to be honest, family business. You mentioned Martin, he's still running the shop, his dad still lives next to the shop, a whole family. I'm working with Peter, his son, through 3 generations all in the company at the moment, so it's really quite a special place to be.
Magnificent. So is it quite a challenge when you're in the office just to save your tipples for after work hours?
Yeah, it's always a bit of a challenge, especially when you're developing new flavours like this. That's for certain.
So is that going to be the future of the brand? Obviously, Thatcher's Gold is the famed drink that we're all familiar to. But is that something that the Thatcher's brand are going to branch off into?
What we want is, we've still got gold, we've still got dry, we've still got traditional, but ultimately there are so many different tastes.
Haze, that's one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a great one. And people looking for new and different and new flavours, so that's what we're doing here, bringing out some new stuff.
Rolf van der Merwe wrapping Cobain on the pads there. Looks like it's sliding down, but Rolf van der Merwe hopping all over the place. He normally bowls like he's had a couple of pints of Thatcher, so we're going to do a little bit of a taste test here.
Yeah, we've got 2 for you here today.
The darker one.
The first one is Thatcher's Blood Orange, brand new, only been out 8 weeks now, and it's just causing an absolute storm across Somerset and Bristol.
Oh, another big shot played and misjudged on the boundary there by Tom Lammonby. It looked like his feet were already over the line. Just got enough on that for 6. As we see the replay there, Tom Lammonby trying to effect one of those stunning catches, unable to do so. 6 runs to the Gloucester total, 71 for 3. That run rate nearing 11 now. Oh. As Higgins has top-edged another one, it's landed just short. Rolf van der Merwe really unlucky there, but doing a great job. Gloucester are a little bit behind the 8 ball now. Some of the key men out. 72 for 3. So I'm going to wet my whistle with a little bit of this blood orange offering from Thatcher's.
So it's an apple cider you're getting there, but with a touch of blood orange coming in.
Oh my lord. That is, that's going to get me off of my little health kick, I've got to be honest. That is absolutely delightful. So you're here at the ground today?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's been absolutely brilliant. Just out there sampling cider. Cider, sun, and cricket. I mean, what an afternoon.
So am I right in saying that these are free samples?
Yeah, too right.
So you come for you pay your entry fee to come here and watch a fantastic night's cricket. You get free cider. I'm assuming the business wouldn't last too long if you did it every night.
Exactly that. But no, it's great to give people a chance to try new things, isn't it?
So you're new to cricket, new to Somerset. First time at the ground?
No. We've been now having a partnership. I've been at Thatcher's for 5 years. I've been here many times, and the partnership we've had with you at Somerset is, are we 10 years plus now, aren't we? It's been incredible. Even if I look over to the right-hand side, there's a little tree on the side of the boundary, the Thatcher's tree. Have you seen that before? Well, people don't notice that.
Well, there was one planted a while back in front of the pavilion, but I think it started to grow a bit too big, didn't it?
Yeah, they did. That one didn't do so well. So about 3-4 years ago, our farm manager Chris came down, planted a new apple tree down there. Hopefully, in the next year or two, you get a few apples.
Ben Green coming into the attack from the river end, and off cutter. Ryan Higgins down the wicket, swats it out to deep square leg. Wants to, can't get to. Great bit of fielding down there by Riley Rousseau. The fit, strong. Riley Rousseau. He's off the Xbox. He's in the gym. He's hitting the ball beautifully. What a great signing he has been. Well, I know that following the social medias of the players, and every time they have a little bit of a chat, they're always doing little tweets and stuff about Somerset wins, and there's normally a train and an apple. I only assume that there's a fair bit of Thatcher's
we make
enjoyed
sure
in the dressing room when the boys get over the line.
Exactly that. That's the instruction. Make sure every time there's a win, get them a cider in there. You've cost us a lot of cider in the last few years. It's got to be said.
That is fantastic. Well, it's always been it's actually made the ground what it is today. I mean, since the 70s, come into Somerset, enjoying a cider while watching the cricket, it's it's one of life's bucket lists.
Yeah, totally.
Some of the spectators have overindulged, I've got to say. But
everyone was very well behaved tonight. It's got to be said. It's great atmosphere out there. Everyone's really enjoying this, you can tell.
Yeah, there's always a sense that no matter the result,
exactly that,
it is a great night at Taunton. We all want to see Somerset winning, progressing in the latter stages of this tournament in particular. But it is a great night out for the family. Is this your debut commentary performance?
It is indeed. Yes, a pleasure to be here. Thanks, Pete.
Do you want to take on the next 2 balls to finish the over out? You're under pressure. It's Ben Green bowling to Ryan Higgins. Away you go.
Here comes Ben Green. He's got a very orthodox action. Oh, he's sliced it. That's the right word, isn't it? Sliced it across for 4 runs. So
I'm not helping.
So that was a very good boundary there. That's exactly what they. Well, it's not what they needed, is it? I mean, I think I might stick to my day job, Pete. Do you know what? I think I'm better at marketing cider than I am at cricket.
Do you know what? When you see your mates in the office, where I say, do you know what? Talking a lot is really hard. that Trigo is really good at talking a lot of nonsense.
That's a good hit, though.
Ryan Higgins waltzes down the wicket and swats Ben Green over the cow corner boundary for 4. Another Somerset saying that goes hand in hand with Somerset, with cider, with Thatcher's, is picky out the stingers. That's what we used to say in the many village grounds around Somerset. Yeah, it's a great sight here at Somerset as we look at the Gloucester scorecard. James Bracey, a well-made 30. Cobain has taken his time, 14 off of 18 balls, and Ryan Higgins has really set about his innings with some impetus. 19 off of 10 balls. It's over to him to be the aggressor, but Ian Cobain's going to have to come to the party at some stage. That run rate, 11 runs and over, 9 overs to go. And Rolf van der Merwe does what Rolf van der Merwe does. He has just taken a absolutely vital wicket. The star of this year's Big Bash is gone. Cobain dismissed for, let's face it, quite struggle-filled 14 off of 19 balls. Brilliant work by Rolf. That's always an extra couple of pints sold. Rolf van der Merwe getting a wicket. So tonight, round the grounds, cider sampling. I tell you what, massive fan of the orange one. May I have a little try of the lemon
give that one a little
I think
tickle. It's that is Thatcher's Cloudy Lemon. So
Thatcher's
what we've done,
Cloudy Lemon being tried here. If the camera could come on to me in the box here, you'll see the difference in the colours here. Look at that. Absolutely top draw. I'm quite a fan of the slightly sharper taste, so I'm thinking that lemon one could be right up my street.
it's an absolute cracker, and I'll let you into a little trade secret as well. Goes very well with gin.
It's very cider and gin. That sounds like
and it's the lemon.
That sounds like a very long morning the next day.
What a
cider
great
and
night!
Gin, that's
cloudy lemon cider with a bit of gin. You've got to try it. Give it a go, Pete.
What were those sort of drinks that you used to have? Like, you obviously wouldn't be a fan of the mixtures of lager. Was it lager and cider?
Oh, snake bite.
Snake bite with a dash of blackcurrant.
Yeah, there's no need for that.
That was always a terrible following day.
Yeah, he didn't need that. Just stick to the cider. Simple as that.
Let me guess. Thatcher's are starting to make gin as well.
We do have a gin now you mention it.
Oh, wow.
But no, we're sticking to cider, really. Gins are only available in our small little shop. We're not exactly going to take on the big boys with this one, but had a little dabble. We like to try things at Myrtle Farm.
So do you reckon I did quite well at marketing then?
Yeah, you're certainly a lot better than my commentary. That's for certain.
That's where I was going. We just had through our streaming in style. Lots of streaming in style. Entrance, brilliant to see everyone tuning in. Enjoying this game wherever you are in the world. We'll have a look at that at the end of the over. But for now, Rolf van der Merwe is putting in an absolutely cracking performance tonight. So far, he's got a key wicket of Ian Cobain. Jack Taylor at the crease now with Ryan Higgins. Ryan Higgins certainly looks to be the aggressor. But Jack Taylor has a knack of hitting the ball in some crazy areas. Real clean striker of the ball. Rolf van der Merwe striding purposefully back to his mark. He wants to get as many balls in quick succession as possible to try and sneak an over in. Can he get out of this over without conceding a boundary? He's dropped short, but that's cut out to Riley Rousseau. A fantastic over there by Rolf van der Merwe. Gloucester move on to 91 for 4 as we announce the streaming in style. It's Trade Nation watching and chewing. It is a dog picture. So it is an animal. It always has to be an animal.
That's amazing. What a great picture that is.
Beautiful pup though, absolutely stunning little doggy there, having a little chew of the sofa. Just what you want in it. Come back and there's a load of foam all over the ground. Streaming in style. Well, Philip, thank you very much for joining me in the commentary box. Good luck with your marketing and your budding commentary career.
I think I might leave the commentary
career. I hope you're going to leave the blood orange side and the cloudy lemon.
I might
with
just
me.
leave an extra can for you over there, Pete, just in case you get. This is thirsty work, I can tell.
Well, you are going to be replaced with a man who does love a little drop of cider. Sam Darling is going to come in. Thank you very much. And
great stuff.
Thank you very, very much for that blood orange cider. That is top draw.
Thanks, Pete.
I don't condone mixing it with gin, but apparently it's the thing to do these days, so why not give it a whirl? Just don't argue the following day when you've got a hangover. Ben Green punished for 4 there. Slower ball, a bit too full, a bit too wide. Crashed through extra cover by Jack Taylor. Sam Dalling joins me in the commentary box. Welcome back, Sam. It's nice to have Phil from Thatcher's. It's also nice to see him complimenting us on how difficult talking cricket for 3 hours is.
Yeah, we would just make it look easy, don't we?
Oh, mate. We're like... What are we then?
I don't know. Like plenty of things.
Starsky and Hutch. No, that doesn't work.
Ooh. Catch on here.
Powerful.
Oh, grab! What a catch that is from Riley Rousseau in front of us here at the Marcus Trescothick Pavilion. One-handed off the air, off the ground. He's plucked that Wow, let's see the replay.
Oh, I need to
this
see the
could
replay. I
be
didn't
the
even see it.
game-winning moment.
Oh,
Oh, what a catch.
What a catch, Riley Rousseau. That is unbelievable. I will leave you with Sophie to talk about that while I go and finish one of these pints, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you, Peter Trigo. No gin with cider, but wow, so just up here in the commentary box, there's a slight blind spot, and I had to jump so I could see, just a bit like Riley Rousseau, but I wouldn't have held that catch. That could be, we talk about momentum, we talk about moments, he doffs his cap to the crowd, he's looking very bashful. Sophie Luff, wow.
What a time to join the action. Riley Rousseau, that was spectacular. If you're in the Marcus Trescothick stand, you've got a pavilion end, sorry, you've got a brilliant view of that catch. You're probably thinking it's coming towards you, and then he just plucks a hand up. Talking earlier about Miles Hammond's catch out long on at the river end. Riley Rousseau, absolute superstar of a catch that.
Benny Howe then out to the middle. We all know he can be a superstar in this format as well, not just with the ball, but also with the bat. Worked hard with Julian Wood, his power hitting coach, and he's going to need some power hitting tonight. Because I think almost for the first time, Somerset are really on top here.
Yeah, that run rate, looking at the scoreboard from here, it's up at 12s now. Gloucester are 5 down as well, so it's a big ask.
Just a single to Gregory. Using his experience down at long off, just getting everyone to calm down a bit after that moment. What a catch. I don't think I've seen a better catch live, Sophie. I really don't.
Yeah, that was unbelievable from Rousseau.
Okay, so if they think about 2, they'll get 2. Good running there from Gloucestershire. Just dabbed it into the gap there, Higgins. End of the over, 13 gone.
We said last week, didn't we, that Somerset were a little bit off the pace in the field against Kent. It wasn't a performance we're used to seeing from them in the field. And they've been on it tonight. They look really up for this. They've executed the simple stuff, and they've also done the spectacular. And that's what you want, and that's what you expect from this Somerset side, actually.
Yeah, back on it. You can have off days. It's important not to make it habitual, and that was out of the top drawer.
Goldsworthy back into the attack. Can only find Abel, the extra cover. That's where you usually find the captain busy in the ring as ever. Slapped by Higgins into the leg side and goes all the way, splits long on and deep mid-wicket out there. Just dragged that down, did Goldsworthy. Not far off probably where he wanted to bowl that. Yeah, he wants to bowl into the wicket to get him to hit leg side to his sweepers, but just too short on that occasion. Higgins hits that out to a star fielder, Riley Rousseau at deep cover.
Above 12 and over, approaching 12 and a half. It's not beyond Gloucestershire here, certainly not beyond them, certainly not beyond these 2.
Again, Howell this time out to deep mid-wicket. Lammonby does the work out there. It's definitely in the balance, isn't it? It's going to be an exciting finish.
There's tension, huge crowd in here for this West Country derby. Could still go either way.
Again, Higgins plays that out to deep cover. Last ball of this Goldsworthy over. A pretty decent over if he can sneak a dot or just a single here, get out of his over. He does well. Van der Merwe busy at point there.
Just 8 off that over, which in the context of this game, 78 overs, that's massive.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that rate's climbing again. I think it was just above 12 and a half there. looking at the scoreboard, but I can only see the advertisement for England women against South Africa, which is in a couple of weeks' time, I believe. Monday the 27th of June, I think that one starts. Be great to see some women's cricket here, and yeah, no pure form of the game. They don't get to play much Test cricket, so it's exciting for those girls.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Keeping it in the West. They played at Bristol last year here at Taunton. I just really hope they get more than one Test. So much to come. Fiddle back, pace off. Push down the ground for one. So we thought, you know, 6 overs left. So we've got 2 of them. We thought they might save him to the death. And this is about putting the pressure on Gloucestershire now, trying to pick up that. If someone can get one more wicket, they will really fancy themselves.
Yeah, we were talking off air actually, weren't we, Sam, about potentially Gloucester got quite a bit of a tail within T20 cricket. So yeah, Somerset going for the kill here, trying to get into that.
Struck down the ground, it'll just be a single. Rightly so, gets a big cheer from the Marcus Trescothic Pavilion fans. Not so much for that bit of fielding there, but for that catch. A couple of overs ago.
Saying at the end of the last over that the rate was creeping up towards 12.5. It's actually closer to 13.5 now.
Much time to play with Gloucestershire. A single out to Will Smeed at from the Trade Nation stand there.
Interesting how you look at this, particularly from a batting perspective. You know, Gloucester, you know, need 75 to win. They've only got 5.5 overs. When you look at it like that, it's quite daunting. But I think 13 and over here at the county ground is more than capable. But they'll need these 2 to score the majority of those, I would suggest.
Yeah, this is just exactly what Somerset want. 8 balls since the last boundary. They're quite happy to let them milk singles here. Just 8 each of the last 8. So it's Goldsworthy bringing it over previously. Siddle. Somerset have turned to their overseas. Their strike ball is smashed down the ground. It's wide. Lewis Gregory, can he get there? No, he can't. It's a much needed boundary for Gloucestershire. Benny Howe struck that really well. That baseball club of his, he went wide of Lewis Gregory. 111.5. Needed that, so.
Yeah, they did. Just watching the replay here, and it was actually quite Joss Butler-esque, that shot. I was watching him earlier today, and just those wrists that come late into the ball there from Benny Howell.
Pace off, cut away, straight to Goldsworthy, a backward point. So they take a single. Tom Banton says, don't throw it, leave it. 115 for 5 off 15. Let's go and find Rob Scanlon, who's down in the crowd somewhere.
Right, so let's have our first sing-along, shall we? Lead us off, no pressure at all. Time for a bit of the Wurzels, here we go.
Brilliant to see the Ben Green fan club in tonight. Trade Nation stands a little bit livelier than it was at 6:30, I dare say. Van der Merwe back into the attack. Just take a single. Van der Merwe leaves it to Banton. So Goldsworthy bowled a brilliant over the previous over from the River End. Temptation would have been to keep him on, but I guess you go with the most experienced man inside.
Yeah, I think so. And I think in T20 cricket, that is, you know, line you up these days. So chopping and changing, I think, is a good option from skipper Tom Abel.
Pushed to the leg side. They'll think about 2. They'll have to hurry, but they will get there. Van der Merwe's frustrated. There's a good bit of running that. He just pushed it into the gap there, Ryan Higgins. Lewis Gregory does the fielding. Nobody has more wickets for Somerset in T20 cricket since the start of 2019 than Rudolf van der Merwe. Short, pulled away, he's found the gap. Ryan Higgins just waited for that, got on the back foot, and he dissected deep in the wicket and mid-on. So 7 onto this over so far. So that's about what Gloucestershire need. So if you promise they've just got to keep doing it, they can't stop.
Yeah, these 2 have got to keep going. I actually thought Higgins didn't get all of that, but his precision with where he was actually striking it, enabled him to access the boundary there. Again, doesn't get all of that down to long on. He's mistiming a few here, it's Higgins, but he's going quite nicely.
Gloucestershire not out of this to produce drives. 62 required. 4.3 overs. It's a big ask. Just get a single to Tom Abel at the cover. Not impossible.
No, not impossible, and they'll be probably thinking of the reverse fixture that happened a couple of weeks ago, a week or so ago, where this man, Van der Merwe, was doing the dangerous hitting, and yeah, the two batters here are more than capable of doing that as well. So great. It's a crowd catch, I think, that one. Yeah, it's a great bit of work, though, from Van der Merwe.
The way he jumped up, that did me. I thought he was celebrating, but no, he's done it. He's through his spell. 1 for 31, Rudolph Van der Merwe, 125 for 5. Let's have a look at another streaming style winner. Who is the lucky recipient? Is that another animal?
It is, yeah, it's a cat, I think.
Cat watching cricket.
Quite a dark picture, though, really making out.
Congratulations. I mean, I guess technically the cat wins the Somerset Vitality Gloucestershire. I don't know if the shot does the feline sizes.
Four overs to go here at the Cooper Associates County Ground. Gloucestershire requires 60. It looks like it's going to be Jack Brooks. You can't miss him in that headband. Very bright, that headband, isn't it?
Like he sticks with the headband warrior, even despite, I mean, cut the hair off. I was going to say lost it. He hasn't lost it. He's elected to.
As he runs away from us here, and great bit of work out on the square leg boundary there. Howell comes back for 2. Just noticed at the end of the last over as well, Howell just swapped his bat. Don't know whether his has gone or whether it was just reinforcements for the last few overs, whether he was getting a bigger one out of the bag.
So at this stage, Sophie, after 16.1 overs, Somerset were 126 for 5. So it's virtually neck and neck.
Yeah, said it's going to be close, and I think it is going to go down to the wire, this one. Brooks in again. And as I talk about Howell changing his bat, he's found the middle of that new one. That's gone all the way for 6. Jack Brooks under pressure here. First couple of balls, conceded 8 already. Again. Slower, halfway down, and Howell says, thank you very much.
Yeah, make that 14. I'm calling that out the ground. That's 150 quid for Movember UK. 6 more runs for Gloucestershire. Just waited on it, didn't he? Waited.
Yeah, waited on it, and yeah, as much as I am a massive fan of Jack Brooks, that wasn't the ball to be bowling to Benny Howell at this stage. He's just having a chat with his skipper now, Abel. Looks like there might be a change of plan here. Square legs coming up into the ring. We're going to have a deep point. Again, he might be going wide line Yorkers here. Potentially what the field is suggesting, we'll have to see. Definitely going wide line. Howell slaps that out to cover. Lammonby does the fielding.
Good striking that from Benny Howell. Gets Higgins back on to strike as well.
Brooks in again then. Oh, Higgins tries to be clever, doesn't get anything on it though. Precious dot ball there for Somerset.
precise is the word. This partnership up to 45 now off 26 balls. So we'd like to break it, as you say, at this stage. So precious. This one is going to be a thriller.
Hit down to long on. So does the fielding. Yeah, this is the partnership, isn't it? You know, 3 overs to go. You can get a wicket here. Somerset, they'll be right in the game. They're still right in the game. 14.7 is the required run rate.
There is the sun setting over the Cooper Associates county. It's been a glorious day, bathed in sunshine, the whole country. It always shines in the West Country, doesn't it, Sophie? And what better way to mark it? Decided derby, Somerset versus Gloucestershire. It could go either way here. Gloucestershire 44 they require of 3 overs, so just a touch under 15 over. But on this ground, that is far from impossible. Ryan Higgins not out 39. Benny Howe not out 29. Ben Green comes into the attack, a show of faith. Gets his Yorker right first up. They think about a second. They get there. Good work from Tom Lammonby. The question was asked, but they were well safe there. He's unlucky, Ben Green.
Yeah. He's got a job to do here now, though. Green's got to try and see out this 18th over. You know, probably be happy to go. If he goes for 10 here, he's probably done a very good job. So, yeah, looking to execute his plans at the back end of the innings, really important for Somerset.
Drilled straight, and it's drilled well enough that from Somerset's perspective, they've only got a single. Higgins picks up another one. He moves to 42, so we're not going to see Lewis Gregory bowl 4 overs tonight. Maximum he can bowl is 3 now. 41 to win there. 2.4 overs remaining.
Required rate, 15.4.
Long on, long off are out. Tom Abel is just moving long off. 5 yards to his left. Precision here is important. Here comes Ben Green. Gets his Yorker right again. Well bowled. He gets a round of applause from Sophie Luff because it goes out to Tom Lammonby at deep mid-wicket and it's just a single.
Yeah, this is good from Green. Yeah, he's still got 3 balls to go in this over, but he started really well. You'd probably be disappointed with how he bowled at the back end last week. So to see him doing a job here is really good for him, for Somerset. And yeah, when someone's executing those Yorkers, they get a little round of applause from me.
So Benny Howe is going to change bat again, and actually the subfielder has run on with a couple, but I think there's a specific bat that Benny Howe wants here.
I think it's Higgins. I think Higgins wants a new one now.
Is it Higgins?
By the looks, yeah. The M&H stickers jumping out at me. He's pretty much walking off the pitch. Oh, he's thrown his bat now.
Someone ran out with 2.
He's not happy.
So we've got a little bit of a delay here. Peter Siddle has got rid of his hat. Ryan Higgins is still waiting for a bat. He's going to wander back towards the middle. Gloucestershire need 40 off just 15 balls. Will this bat make a difference?
Well, that looks like he's found the one that he wants. I was saying a couple overs ago that he wasn't hitting them that well. So whether it was just on the way out, that one, or whether he's copied Benny Howell and, you know, just got the reinforcements in.
Fine legs up, short thirds up, backward points up. Well bowled, Ben Green. Gets a hand to it, so they just take a single. This has been wonderful. Sophie was saying, you know, relatively young player, inexperienced-ish in this format. Got a bit of stick at the death in the last game against Kent. Stuck his hand up to bowl. Could well be 2 crucial overs. Here, this was no fun. In fact, this is last. We'll finish off. Key time, driven, straight, and that's big. Into the seats there where the sight screen is. The Lordy and Botham stand. 6 more for Benny Howe. He moves up to 42 off just 17 balls. 11 off the over so far. So if Ben Green can close this out and not concede a boundary, he's still going to creep that run rate up.
Yeah, and that's the fine margins, especially in this format.
And again, goes again, doesn't get that one right. Ben the Green, and that is literally out the ground. What a strike from Benny Howe. Could we see something special from Gloucestershire here? 42 unbeaten off 17 balls, 158 for 5. 27 needed. of 2 overs. Let's go down to Rob, who's in the crowd again. Rob, where are you?
Stand, here we go!
From the Marcus.
It's going to be Peter Siddle then to bowl the 19th over. Gloucester need 27. They've got that run rate down from 15 to 13. That last over, those last couple of balls from Green. As Siddle's in. Higgins goes for the ramp. Doesn't get it where he wants it. Somerset have a wicket. Peter Trigo's joining me.
Peter is joining you, and Peter has just done the business on the park. Excellent, great. Just what Somerset needed. It looked like the momentum was starting to shift towards the Gloucester camp. So that wicket is perfectly timed.
Yeah, it's a dot ball and it means a new batter is at the crease.
Grumpy at the moment. Grumpy that last over. Just sort of skewed things back towards Gloucester, unfortunately. I just don't, with all the qualities he does bring in the middle, maybe in the power play, I just don't think Ben Green can get away with bowling to death here unless he gets it perfect. Same as the other night, just seems to be the perfect pace to hit here at Taunton. When you look at the lineup, Brooks has got an over left, Lewis has 2 overs left.
Siddle's in. Chappell's the new batter. Out to square. Smith does the field in there.
What's Chappie doing this far up the order? He'll have a nosebleed. Chappie coming in number 8.
Can he hit a long ball with those levers?
He's a big lad, but I'm not sure he's a number 8.
Well, we did say that their tail was rather long, Gloucester.
Yeah, like I said, he can hit a clean ball. Peter Siddle bowls on length, squirts it out to deep edge to cover. Lammerby takes the catch. Peter Siddle doing what Peter Siddle does best, taking wickets wherever he goes. Brilliant comeback over here after an over that looked like it might be skewing things. Peter Siddle has got 2 crucial wickets, and all of a sudden Somerset are back in control.
I'm glad you came back on air, Trees. You've done the business here.
Look, I take no responsibility when I big someone up and they get belted for 6. I'm also not taking responsibility for the good stuff. It's just a fluke. But then again, it's quite good at fluke and stuff. No, it's brilliant to see. Brilliant to see the lads coming back. This is a massive game in the context of the West Country, and being able for the majority of the people to enjoy their weekends if you're in the Somerset camp. The bragging rights of the West Country. That run rate is spiralling out of control now. Only a few balls to go. 26 runs needed. Somerset should close this out. I'm slightly concerned about who's going to finish up. Here's a new Dixie or Lewis. They're really the only 2 that really can finish up. I really hope it's Lewis, because I think it's a fantastic death bowler.
Siddle round the wicket to Amir. It's only going to be 1.
One thing you never know though, so with managing people through, it seems strange the other game with Lewis only bowled 2. Is that part of his bowling loads? He can only bowl 2 overs per game. Jack Brooks will do a cracking job, I have no doubt, but it seemed odd the other night that he didn't come back at death and only bowled his 2 overs. He's stranded on 2 overs again. He's bowled 2 overs, 1 for 12, so you'd assume he would have bowled that Ben Green over. So
yeah, you'd
maybe
assume if he was fit to bowl that he would bowl his allotted overs.
Yeah,
so maybe he is stuck at 2 at the moment.
pretty sure you can see Jack.
Full from Siddle. Chapel can only push that to long on. This has been very good from Somerset's overseas signing, Peter Siddle. Just that experience, trying to close out a game. He's been there, done it so many times before. Gloucester need 24 off 7 balls here.
Ram got it slightly wrong, got the wicket, absolutely nailed out to deep square, but I suppose you're bowling to your field, aren't you? Quite fortunate with 2 wickets though, but we'll take them. The Somerset camp.
Somerset.
Tries for us to be impartial here. We'll try to be. Come on, Somerset!
Somerset definitely taking their time with field placings, what their plans are. There's been a lot more communication tonight, I've noticed, which has been great to see. Wicket! That is Peter Siddle at his best. Full, straight, hitting the stumps. And that is exactly the over that Somerset wanted. And the fans were
quick.
That was quick, yeah.
Base of leg stump. Again, that bit of experience. He knew the man over there was going to back away and try and open up the offside. He's followed him into his feet. Base of leg stump. Perfect Yorker. Even if he would have got back on it, no way to go for a bang. Beautiful piece of bowling there by Peter Siddle. He's nice and good. He's done 3 for 30 of his 4 overs. 3 wickets and 1 over. Massive game-changing moment here.
It's going to be Jack Brooks, Treats.
Yeah, I think there's obviously a plan to only bowl Lewis 2 overs. I don't think it's a fluke, but that was what happened the other night. Everyone was a little bit confused that Davey and Green bowled to death. But Brooksy's going to do the job of a little bowler, which is something he should be doing. Take responsibility. He's a highly skilled bowler. I'm sure he can do a good job. Look, I think you've got to do a good job, haven't you? Put pressure on yourself.
Very striking tonight, actually. I don't think I've seen that pink one before. But
Gentle.
Suits him, doesn't he? He does rock it well, to be fair to him.
He's a very stylish man, is Jack Brooks. Verging on eccentric, I think, maybe, his character type. But he's great company, good bowler. He's actually brilliant to play against as well. Playing very quick-witted on the field. Brilliant on the camera. He does a lot of the social media stuff here in Somerset. Brilliant to have on the Q&A or anything like that.
Yeah, Somerset just taking their time here, making sure they've got their field in the right place.
He sort of spent a long time with him then at the end of March, so when I said his work was done, it's not. He was chatting to his fellow bowler, getting his plans right. Skirting out to big Z chaps having a good swing at that one. And he connected with the Q end of the back. Fancy himself to get the main batting, but he'd only open the batting if we turned the page upside down. Well fielded. Should find leg Ben Green. Poor delivery by Jackman. Should have gone for 4. Ben Green did a great job for his teammate there. Putting his body on the line.
Yeah, got away with that one. But you could call that bowling to your field. Gone to the man there, and Somerset have been very good in the field tonight. It's been great to see them back where we know that they are very strong.
I do think that the knee-high full toss down the leg side is stretching the bowling to your field plan there, Soph, but I know what you mean. We'll give him some credit. Second ball though. Attempting bowling there. The side steps up. That's wide from Jack Brooks. He's got to re-bowl that one. 4 balls to go. Gets it right up into the block hole, squirted out to mid-off. Sprint two. Twos are not going to get the job done. This game is going Somerset's way, but something absolutely ridiculous, like no ball sixes, free hits, this, that, and the other. Just keep your foot behind the line. Somerset will be taking the points. Ball to his field again, but the fielder hasn't got in the way of that one. Another shin high full toss down the leg side, swatted away for four, but he only really has to bowl lead with deliveries. Come on, Brucey, let's not make it interesting. Run rate and all that. Been a really good performance. I think this is this will be a big shift for Somerset as well. Not only have they won the game, but they've done it the opposite way round. It looks like their preference is to chase. Defending the total will give the bowlers and the whole group a lot of confidence. Really good slower ball there from Jack Brooks.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you're defending as well, it may just give you a little bit more clarity on what you're trying to do. You know what the run rate is, where you want to get hit, for example. And Somerset have closed this game out really well, must admit.
Short, swatted over mid-on for six. A little bit of an indication that Somerset still have a lot of work to do at the death, the way the last few overs gone. Peter Siddle, absolutely fantastic. That penultimate over making the difference tonight. Gloucester finish on 177 for 8. Somerset defend their first innings total of 184. Congratulations to Tom Abel and his team. Somerset take the spoils and the pride of the West Country Derby.
Brilliant performance. You know, we didn't think that we had enough runs potentially. 184. You know, you're probably feeling like you've left a few out there, but yeah, the bowlers have done a job there and led brilliantly by Peter Siddle, 3 for 30. That's what you want from your overseas signing, isn't it? And he's done a very good job tonight.
Exactly right. There was a couple of wheels of the car had come off there in the 17th, 18th over. Peter Siddle righting the ship. 3 wickets in 1 over. Brilliant job from the experienced man. And then Jack Brooks closing out. I still think the combination at the back end of the innings bowling-wise is still not quite right, but that will give the Somerset dressing room a lot of confidence to defend a total, which is at best par, you have to be honest. There were a number of rebuilding periods in that innings from Somerset, lost wickets at the top, a stream of them. Lewis Gregory tonight was absolutely fantastic. In fact, what a great week he's had with bat in hand. 110 not out in the championship and 60 not out tonight. Well done Lewis Gregory, well done Tom Abel, well done Peter Siddle. Backed up well by the rest of the guys. Riley Rousseau, I thought, looked in good touch, played well. And what a catch down there.
Yeah, hell of a catch. That is what we want to see in this game, and yeah, it was one of those that you just put a hand up, but they practice those all the time. We've talked about it before. They do practice those, and then they can execute when the pressure's on, and there's no bigger pressure than the Derby game, is there? And Somerset have done the double over Gloucester in the T20s now. Happy days, all the handshakes being done, the groundsmen are on the wicket practicing their sweep shot, getting ready for the next home game. And that will fall on deaf ears unless the camera does me a favour. So, good night tonight, brilliant crowd, the atmosphere absolutely electric here. I'm not surprised actually with the free Thatcher's samples that were dotted around the place, so I'm sure everyone's had a little test of the old cloudy lemon and the blood orange ciders. And we've got an interview pending. We'll let you know who that is in a minute. It is the great man himself, Riley Rousseau. He's down pitch side with Rob Scanlon. We will get there as soon as possible. I can see a lot of moving and shaking down on the side. The advertising boards are going up. Riley Rousseau is putting his makeup on,
fixing his hair, doing his nails. Over to you, Rob.
Well, what a night here at the Cooper Associates County Ground in Taunton. Fantastic support from everyone here. A brilliant, brilliant West Country derby in the Vitality Blast. One of the key players tonight, Riley Rousseau. Another sparkling performance from you, Riley. How much did you enjoy that tonight?
Oh, fantastic. I mean, everyone that came in here tonight, thank you very much. You guys made the atmosphere amazing. The boys pulled it through right at the end there.
It was that final over, Peter Siddle, well, the penultimate over, Peter Siddle had a massive impact with those 3 wickets.
He came in and he took a couple of wickets and he definitely put us in the front. So credit goes out to City and the boys, especially in the outer field. The boys who took the catches, serious team performance today.
Yeah, you mentioned catches. There's some brilliant ones out there. Obviously, Miles Hammond in the Somerset innings, you have to give credit for that. But your one-handed one, we got a great view of that. That was pretty special.
Yeah, I mean, a blind chicken also has to eat every now and again. I got lucky there, so I take it.
So how significant does this win feel? I mean, it's a derby match, it's 2 points, but it edges you closer to Surrey at the top of the table.
I think it's massive for us, especially now. We batted our first time in this whole tournament. We haven't done that, and we defended a total, which we thought was maybe about par. And like I said, the bowlers that came through for us today, well done.
Thanks ever so much, and we'll see you next Thursday for the visit of Hampshire Hawks.
Happy days, thank you.
Thanks, that's Riley Rousseau there, so one of the key players tonight. Another sparkling innings from him, and wow, what about that one-handed catch at long on? That was pretty spectacular. Very shortly we'll be crowning the Thatcher's Player of the Match, so stay tuned.
Right, for those who have tuned in, I hope you have had a great night streaming in style. We've enjoyed it here in the commentary box. We hope you've enjoyed it at home. I'm going to absolutely wing it because listening is a skill, but I believe we are back Sunday afternoon away against Essex at Chelmsford, and then on Tuesday away at the Oval against Surrey. So 2 matches on Somerset's live stream, supported by Trade Nation. We'll be back here at the County Ground on Thursday, live on Sky Sports. So we won't be running the show. Obviously, you'll miss our commentary. Thanks to my team, Sam Darling, Sophie. Everyone's happy. Good night. God bless.